just been twitching all day.
All right, cool. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Hoodie and Headband podcast show, special Thursday episode for y'all. WNBA preview. As you see by the title, I'm Bryce. I'm joined by no other than my brother
Tariq,
Tariq. End of the week, start of a new season. How we feel heading into the 2025 WNBA season? I see you got the jersey on. I see you got the jersey on. Do you want to speak on it?
look, I'm always excited about the W season. The day before opening day is always like a bittersweet day. We talk about this every year since we've been covering the sport, but
Yep.
we're covering the league, I should say. Um, like our excitement is like super high, and then cut down day like brings it down a little bit, and then opening day brings it back up. So it's always tough to see players that we grew up. I don't say we grew up, but we seen grow up in front of us. Um, not make a team or get cut from the team, and we don't really know what their future looks like in like a guaranteed spot at least. Just because there's so few teams and so few roster spots, and they're getting cut so late that every team has had to cut down their roster to a certain point. So there's really no space for someone to get picked up somewhere else at this point in time of the season. Like, as far as Haley goes, definitely, definitely frustrated and irritated at the fact that she was cut. Um, her first 2 years, she never really got the opportunity to play her style of basketball or play the kind of basketball that best suits her. She never really got to show her actual skill set, which is weird because when you drafted her, that's what you said that you wanted her for. And then you were literally like, no, you're just a point guard. That's it. And then even when she was the point guard, you didn't have the point guard really do anything but set screens and just move around. Um, and then this year, um, I was very heavy of like, I wouldn't mind if Valkyrie's like picking her up if she's unprotected because that's close to home for her,
Go back home.
and
Go back to the bay.
and it'd be a fresh start. New team, new players, everything, new coach. They protected her, which meant like okay, they see a future there. Carlos Mesco was super high on her throughout the off season. Went out to watch her play in Australia. Um, really showed that he valued her and valued her versatility. I even talked about it on the Dream preview that we did of like how she felt. She said this is the best she had felt about a coach and how they used her since she's been in the league. So it's definitely irritating to see her not on the roster. I'm trying to be excited because Tina Papa made the roster.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like I seen the final thing and I was like, oh, I want to like it, but I'm like Haley not on there, but Tina is. So it's like and I ain't gonna lie, like that was gonna be that was potentially gonna be my favorite team this year, just because both of them were on that team. But
Also,
um,
Tariq team to the T.
I mean, there's a few around the league now, just because of how many are like going into the league and on teams and things like that. But um, yeah, definitely frustrating to see. Um, I wouldn't say it's super surprising. It's just more disappointing than surprising, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely feel that, man. Haley's a player that I've been a fan of since her days in Stanford. One of the best players out there, one of the best players in position, most standing player in college when they won the chip, and was finding her footing, man. I really didn't like how Atlanta handled her under like Tanisha Wright, and I thought, as you mentioned, you thought they would have handled her a little better on the cross Mesco, but seeing her get cut, um, that really was just like a head scratcher, Like as someone who's been around the team, been around the program for a while now, and coming into her third season, I would have thought that she would have got the time to shine a little more. But ultimately, though, I do hope that she does find her way back on the team because I mean her skill set could be used for any team in the league. Um, but I mean, hey, within due time, though, within due time. So Haley, just know we're rooting for you. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it was good to see a good amount of first and second round picks make their teams
Yeah.
this season as opposed to other seasons where like many teams or many draft picks not make the roster. Um, Golden State Valkyries. What y'all got going on in the Bay? Not one, not two, but zero of your draft picks, inaugural draft picks, made the team. Yusuke Yoshida isn't coming over this year. Your inaugural draft pick, and you cut Cheyenne Sells and Caitlin Chen. And Saw 2 had a lot to say about that. We'll talk about that too. But Saw 2 has some words for Caitlin Chen
I
getting
don't
cut.
necessarily disagree with, but
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know
we
if
can
this is the
call a
best
spade
time
a
to do that.
spade. We can call a spade a spade. I mean, it's a business. It's cutthroat. I get it. And I get why fans are mad, but at the same time, I get Saw 2's point as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're coming into a team that has a lot of established pros already. Like that was an expansion draft team. That's not a new team filled with new players. Those players came from other teams. Caleb Thornton just won a championship with the Liberty last year. You got Julie Van Loo, who was one of the better guards in the league last year. You got Kate Martin, who was on the Aces last year. Tiffany Hayes, who's a vet. Like you got talent. It's a lot to compete with, especially the guard position on that team. So, I understand the criticism, I understand the hate, but at the same time, it's life. It's a doggy dog world, man. It's a doggy dog world. But nevertheless, though, definitely excited for a new WNBA season. It's been far too long. It felt like October was like 2 years ago. It was only some months ago. But I'm definitely excited for the season. I'm excited because there's been a lot of change around, a lot of switch around as we covered in our previews, which are all out now. Liberty and Lynx dropped today. So definitely go and check those out before tip off tomorrow. I mean, if you're new to the W, just go through those. They're little 20-minute videos, and by the end of them, find out who your team is.
Sure.
If
That's
you ain't got
definitely
a
a way to go
team,
about it.
yeah. But yeah, man, we just gonna hop right into it though. I mean, I'm looking forward. I mean, we had a lot of change around in the off season. We had a good bit of just a lot of switcheroos, you know what I'm saying? Like we got new coaches and new places. We got new players, old players in new places. They found new homes. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm definitely
definitely.
looking forward to this season.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players I'm excited to watch. I wrote down a list. I'm not gonna name them all, but maybe later in the episode when we get to like the predictions part.
Yeah.
But it might be like close to like 30-ish names. So I'm
Gotcha.
excited. There's a lot I'm excited for this season.
For sure, for sure. Do you want to go ahead and claim your team now, or put that that flag in the sand now? Who you rocking with for the season, or you just rooting for who you rooting for? Who your squad? If you want to
Squad,
share,
I don't have a squad.
you have a squad, but you got a
Squads. Yeah, there
squad
you
of
go.
players. So your squad,
Yep.
the
So do.
Tariq squad,
So I root
Hoodie
for
squad.
the Wings
Uh huh.
to an extent. I root for the Mercury to an extent.
Uh huh.
I want to say the Dream, but I'm gonna just say Tahina, respectfully.
Tahina. Okay.
Uh,
Respectfully.
I root for the Sky
Okay. Yeah.
because of Maddie,
Shout out Maddie Anderson made it.
and I'll also be. This would be even more, but I'll be tapped in with the Mystics for sure. If Georgia didn't get hurt, they would be like high on the list.
Oh,
I
for
have a
sure.
potential
For
league pass
sure.
team segment later. They would have been like number 3 probably if Georgia
Yeah.
didn't or something.
Most
So
definitely. Most definitely.
yeah, and then
But
obviously Minnesota defeat.
yeah. I mean, y'all know I'm rocking with the Aces once again, man. I ain't switching. I ain't changing up. But I'm a little neutral today with
Unless Asia
my
leave.
shirt choice. Huh?
Unless Asia leave, then you packing in bags.
Man, we'll have to see, but I don't think she. I don't think she's leaving. I think. I,
I didn't say she would. I'm
well,
just
I
saying if
say
she did, you
if she
moving.
did leave, like yeah, probably
You pack and go.
yeah,
You follow her, which you should.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do with Candace.
Oh, so you did it with
That's
Candace?
why I ain't got a team right now. So I ain't got a team.
Free
I
agent,
don't have
man.
one specific favorite player. I have a bunch of favorite players now.
Yeah.
So now, if she had stayed with the Sparks her whole career, I probably would have stayed at Sparks. Right? But she went to the Sparks, then she went to the Sky. I mean, I say
Blame
went
Derek
to the Sparks.
Fisher.
She was with the Sparks for like 14 years, but like still, yeah, Derek Fisher really got up for the Sparks
He a
for real.
bum. I don't
See how I
blame them
bleeped that out?
bums.
See how
Huh?
I bleeped that out? You didn't notice how I bleeped that out? I said
Low
really
key.
that up.
Low key.
Yeah, come on out.
There we go. We
Round of
like the
applause for
growth.
me. Round of
We like
applause
the
for me.
growth. Yes.
I had
Growth.
kids asking me today. They was like, "Can I watch your videos?" I said, "Absolutely not." I said, "I'm
Listen,
working
bro.
on
I
that."
was networking
They
at the
said, "We'll watch
job,
it on
and I
mute."
was
I
just
don't
like,
believe you.
listen, dog. I was hesitating on spreading the word at the job, but I was like, no, we got to get the 500. So hey, if you watching this, and you new, and you ain't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.
Right
It's
now,
free to
right
subscribe.
now, right now,
It's free to subscribe.
right now. It
But
costs nothing.
anyways, man, we do got guests on the show. This
Yes,
time around,
sir.
we got two guests. So hold on, let me let them know to come in. All right, try, all right. Talking about a lot of changes and stuff in the W. We got a guy who covers the Seattle Storm pretty closely, and Brenden Potts does a lot of writing for World Exposure WB. So welcome to the show, Brenden.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. How are you, my man?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Man, I'm good, man. I can't complain. Just ready for another W season, man. I see you got the Storm hat. You rapping?
Yes, sir. Storm hat, tape, jersey,
Okay,
Hey,
okay,
come on now.
okay.
He knew how to come to the show. He got to come to the show.
Listen,
Come on now.
the
listen. The
UConn boy.
propaganda
Damn
is
Yes,
right.
strong.
Hey, we ready, bro. I'm
Yes,
so
sir.
excited.
yeah. He know what it
This is
was.
this is probably the most excited I've been for a W season.
Oh yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I mean, hey, it rightfully so, man. This has been a season I've been looking forward to, especially with this draft class. But yeah, but not too much about me and what I got going on. Tell the people who you are and what you do, and yeah.
Yeah. So my name's Brendan. I'm a writer for World Exposure Report. And I've been doing writing for about 3 years now. This will be my third W season. My first season for or I'm sorry, my second season covering for World Exposure Report. Um, but yeah, I've been a W fan since 2020. My That was my first year watching the W, and I live in Washington State, so I root for the Storm. I live close to I live closer to Portland, Oregon, so that Portland team's going to be my quote unquote local team. So I'm hoping to cover them when they come next year. But yeah, man, I'm always, whenever I get the chance to talk women's basketball, I always like reach out and I'm like, hey, I'm down to talk any women's basketball, any WNBA, women's college basketball. So yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. We love to hear it, man. So first and foremost, I want to ask, how do you feel about your Seattle Storm in this upcoming season with
You
all the
know,
changes that they had in the offseason?
yeah. I actually feel really good about this team. I know, I know it was going around when it happened, but Skylar Diggins during her media availability said that this is the most talented team she's been on. I can't speak for her teams in Dallas, but if she's referring to the team being more talented than last year, I 100% agree. I I um I love Jewel Lloyd and I love what she brought to the team, but I think this team has a lot of a lot of pieces that go with a championship team. Um, so I feel really good about the Storm this season.
But I'm really high on Gabby Williams, especially with her being able to play a full season. Not to get too ahead of our schedule, but for my defensive player of the year, I have Gabby Williams down. She's playing a full season. She's going to be able to show her capabilities on both the offensive and the defensive end. Um, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's all WNBA either. I think she's going to be. I think she's the. I don't want to say X factor because she's better than like most X factors would be. I think if the Storm are like that in that Final Four, potentially going to the finals, I think it's going to be because of Gabby Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I feel like I advocate every single year for defense for Ezzy McMcGlure for
Oh
defensive
my
player of the
goodness.
year. Uh,
Yeah,
she should have won. She if the year that we had Tina Charles, Ezzy should have won DPOY. The
I
year
agree.
that they had Tina Charles, if Ezzy would have started the rest of the season, she would have won DPOY. Um, but she's what she averages 2 blocks a game every single year, and she's only getting better. I actually wrote about the potential of the Storm this season. I think they're going. I think if they're going to win, they're going to win because of the two D's, defense and depth. You look at the two finals teams last year, the Liberty and the Lynx. What do they have? The Lynx, one of the best defensive teams in the league. They were unstoppable on defense. Nobody could score against them. And then you look at the Liberty, they had depth, and that's why those two teams. That's a good reason why those two teams go to the finals. So if you look at the Storm, that's what they have is defense and depth. They could be one of my predictions. I called it a bold prediction. I don't think it's that bold anymore. I think Seattle will be the top defensive team in the league. Like if you
Mm,
look at this, if they remain healthy, they will be the top defensive team in the league. Um, they were middle of the pack last season, in a season where Connecticut was the top defensive team in the league. Seattle was middle of the pack, and they've gotten immensely better on defense in the offseason. So if all things come into place during the season, then there's no reason why they shouldn't be the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah, you guys definitely got a defensive squad, and I think of like someone like I mean, as you mentioned, your starters, as in like NECA and Skyler, who's good on defensive, uh, on the perimeter, and then you got Ezzy, who's been a defensive player of the year candidate for a couple years now. Got Dominique Malonga,
Mm-hmm.
that gives you guys some size and definitely adds to the big core that you guys have. You got Alicia Clark that's back with the team now. She's good on the defensive perimeter as well. Um, I mean, and you guys mentioned Gabby Williams as well. Um, yeah, they cutting a lot of people waters off this year. Like this season, they cutting a lot of water off this season, man. It's going to be
Yeah.
tough for some teams to get a bucket on them.
And just because we have a lot of good defensive players, I'm not saying we don't. We have a lot of good offensive weapons as well. We got I mean everybody we just mentioned are a lot of good two-way players. But coming off the bench, we got Lexi Brown, we got Wheezy,
Shooter,
we
shooter.
got we yeah exactly. Um, I think she's I think she's gonna be our. I think we had a combination of this player, but I think she's going to be our Sammy Wickham this year. Just straight
Mm,
up, just straight up heat check shooter. But Sammy was more of a point guard, while I think Lexi's going to be more of a two.
yeah,
Um, where I say combination is I think Katie Lou Samuelson was going to be a big part of that heat check offense, but it's a shame that she went down. In training camp. It really sucks just because it was her second stint back with the team. Um, but I wanna bring in a name where we haven't mentioned it, and I think she's going to, and it's good because I don't I think a lot of people are going to forget about this name, but she's just as important as Lee Yuru.
Oh yeah.
from Los Angeles. Yeah, um, yeah, and listen, man, listen,
Head of the
I
fan club right here.
yeah,
Head
yeah,
of the fan
yeah.
club right
Yes,
No,
sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
she
Shout out to Lee.
she is great. She is great. She was at the press conference at Connecticut, and I just love hearing her speak and hearing her next to NECA. I love that they run a system in practices and stuff or a culture thing called accountability partners. Everybody has their own accountability partners. Last year, Jordan and NECA were accountability partners, and I could tell that they rubbed off on each other. This year, that's Liuru and NECA, and so I love that they're accountability partners. So I look for Lee to have a significant role off the bench. That's why I caution everybody to be careful with the expectations of Dominique Malonga for a couple of reasons. One, because of Liru, I think she's going to be a forgotten player by the public that the Storm are going to use early in the season. And the second and most important part is look at the last 2 to 3 seasons, really the last 2 seasons, um, how Noelle Quinn uses her rookies. She doesn't she doesn't use her rookies right away unless she absolutely has to. Even
Yeah.
to the dismay of all UConn fans out there, they didn't play Nika Mule last year, unless it was garbage time, and it was they won the championship when she scored her first points on the road. Um, so and then 2 years ago, we had a garbage team with we had just lost
Yeah.
Sue Bird and Stewie, and our first round pick Jordan Horston started the season coming off the bench when
Yeah.
she earned a starting spot at the latter part of the season, but she came off the bench. Noelle Quinn does not throw her rookies into the fire unless she absolutely has to. So that's why I caution. I don't know what Malonga's minutes are going to be at the beginning of the season, but I know she will get a lot of playing time because she is good and the team knows she's good. So um, I think a lot. I think I can't speak for the public overall, but if people think that she's going to get a lot of run right off the bat because she's talented, I have to caution you because that's not how Noah Quinn rolls.
I also think it's interesting that they didn't play a good bit of them in the preseason game that they had, but then in the scrimmage, I feel like almost everybody played, but we don't know what the minutes look like. We don't really know. Like
Right.
I saw a clip that was like I don't want to say the whole game, but it was like pretty much every time that Seattle had scored, and you saw pretty much everyone score at one point. Like throughout the game, everyone had played. So I was like, you don't really know what the minutes look like. You don't really know what the rotation looked like. If that was
Right.
just to do it or what, but um, uh, something I'm curious about is how often does she play a lot of the front court players together? Like, is she playing Dominique with Ezzy? Is she playing Dominique with Lee? Is she gonna play like a Dominique Ezzy NECA lineup? Like there's a potential where they could play Gabby, NECA, Dominique, Ezzy at the same time, or instead of Dominique, you could throw Lee in there. Like they could throw some really big lineups out there, and if Gabby's shooting the ball well, then um, they still have the capabilities of having enough space to cause a havoc on both ends of the floor. So, and I'm definitely excited to see what the Euro can do. I've been advocating for her since Chicago. I
Yeah.
feel like she should have been playing a lot more when she was there. I thought she should have played a lot more last year. She would play really good one game, and then the next game they wouldn't play her at all. And I'm like, it's like y'all are like, it was like they were like punishing her for playing well. Like she would go and get like 12-9, and they'd be like, all right, you're not playing the next game. And then she would play 3 games later, and she would get like 14-8. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And then she didn't play for 2 more games. So I'm definitely hoping that this is a different situation for her. And seeing her play last season during the Olympics, and then seeing her play overseas, um, completely different confidence. Like if you can get that confidence out of her, because when she's playing for China, like I think it was her and Meg Gustafson last year. in the Olympics where it was China versus Spain, and both of them went crazy. So I'm like, if you can get Lee to play that kind of confident, I'm just saying the potential is sky high, sky
Yeah.
high. No, no pun intended, because she's
Yeah.
sky.
One.
Yeah.
uh.
Shout out to
One.
Lee, man.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. But
Absolutely,
not saying that Lee Rue is trash, but just the way that
right, right.
LA treated her and her usage. But I did want to speak on your first point. That's what if you read my article of about the storm. I don't know if you guys have, but that's what Noel Quinn no Noel Quinn said to me when she answered my question about the defense. She talked about the different tools that she had and and how that how she can use them. And I was talking to a buddy of mine who also covers the storm after as we were leaving the arena, and I said I think this is the most uh, tools that Noel Quinn's had at her disposal, and that creates so much. I mean, there's so much versatility with this team. Um, like even just in the starting lineup, I think uh, many people are complaining that we don't have a two guard. We don't really need one because of our philosophy on defense. I think Alicia Clark is going to start at the two, and I think that lineup, whether defensive or offensive, is just fine. Now we'll see what happens over the course of the season and how we match up as a contender and against the teams like New York and Minnesota and maybe Indiana and Vegas. But overall, I think that starting lineup alone is just fine as it is on paper. But yeah, Noel Quinn said that to me. Talked about the different tools that they have, the versatility, the different lineups that they can use. Um, and it sounds like she's going to experiment with that over the course of the season.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned the them stacking up against like the contenders or I guess preseason contenders, as in like the Liberty, the Lynx, Aces, and arguably the Fever. What do you think is the Storm's ceiling heading into the season
Championship,
from your point of view?
championship. Their ceiling, championship. Their ceiling is hoisting the trophy in Seattle and finally getting a parade after we didn't get one in 2020. That's the parade or that's the ceiling. And I asked Alicia Clark. She probably played on the 2020 team was probably one of the greatest defensive teams of like ever in the WNBA. And you look at that, it's funny because while she was in like especially when she was in Washington, I looked at that team and just how they all the individual players have done on their new teams like Natasha Howard, Alicia Clark, and all those players like Brianna Stewart, and I'm just like, wow, that 2020 team was insanely deep and insanely good on defense.
Yeah,
And I asked her, how does this team stack up against that team in 2020? And they have the same determination. She said they have the same determination, the same, the couple of the, I think it was both her and NECA said, the want to, but like I understood that as like the desire to do great on defense, to win by defense. Um, and I mean NECA, I kind of asked this question to NECA, but she mentioned like defense wins championships. Like you can't get more simple than that. So my ceiling for this team is championship.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I definitely think they have the potential to do so. I know me and Tariq, we talked about our different tiers and about how just different teams in general throughout the year we got this team as like I don't want to say they got to prove a little bit, but they do have to prove themselves a little bit because it's because of the amount of shakeup that they have. But they do have the makeup of a team that can be contender and that can challenge a contender for real. We like to call them disruptors.
Hmm.
So definitely I could see the Seattle Storm being that this season. They definitely have that potential.
Yeah, I don't know when it comes to overall, like the league overall. I'm not. With Indiana, I can see the potential. I just want to see it on the floor. I just want to see it before because I get like you mentioned, like there's been so much shakeup with their team. And good on non Caitlin Clark Indiana fans for sticking through it because I was
Facts.
telling some other people the other day. I'm like they're probably on like cloud 15 right now because of like how much they've been through. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, Indiana, I gotta see it before I believe it. Um, I don't know why people have Seattle below Vegas, man. I really, really, really don't. And but it's because of what I just said. Like Seattle has defense and they have depth. More importantly, depth. Vegas doesn't have depth in the post, and they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna burn
nor
out
do they use
Asia.
it.
No, and exactly. Becky Hammond doesn't she has depth, but she doesn't use it exactly. And so what are you gonna do? Just burn Asia until she can't go anymore? And we all know she's gonna go until the ultimate tires fall off, and that's not even good for the rest of her career. So like what do you do? And the one thing I will say that I do love about Vegas, as much as it pains me, I do love the addition of Jewel Lloyd. Um, Jewel Lloyd Jewel Lloyd is a player that she's a very good one. She was a very good one for us when Stewie and Sue left, when they initially left. She was a very good one. But like I said earlier, the team wasn't very good. So um, she's a very good one, but she's a much better three or two, three, four, or she no she'll at worst she'll be the fourth option
Yeah,
um, behind behind Asia, Chelsea, and Jackie.
I feel
But
like it should be 2 to 3 this year.
yeah. So those guards are really, really good. But
Yeah,
how are they going to how far are they going to carry them when they go against the front court like Seattle or Indiana or New York has a really good front court. So um, how well are they going to stack up when they go against that front court? So truthfully, I don't know why Vegas is above Seattle. Um, I truly think right now on paper, obviously the paper I always say the paper gets crumpled and thrown to the side when the ball tips off. Uh, but on paper, I think Seattle is a top three team behind the two finalists in Minnesota and in New York.
I'll be honest, the Storm were the team that I was like the most back and forth on. Like I had them as as high as like 3-ish, and then I had them as low as like 6 because there's like you have Liberty, Lynx, you have the Aces, you have what the Fever could be, and then another team that's like that's similar to Seattle, but Seattle has way more continuity because some of the players have been there is Phoenix. Phoenix on paper, talent wise, can match up with anyone, but there's still some questions because we haven't seen them on the court as a whole together. So we don't really know what that'll look like. It could be similar to like New York's first season together when Stewie and Jonquel came in and Vandersloot came in, where they were still really good, but they didn't have enough chemistry and camaraderie and just understanding of where everyone wanted to be and where everyone needed to be for everyone to succeed. And then you could see the difference between New York their first season and then last season. Offensively, at least I would say. I mean, defense they were still really good, but offensively they were just on a different level than the year before. And I think that's something that we're looking for with Phoenix is like continuity offensively. I think defensively they'll be fine, but offensively, and then they have depth. We just haven't seen it because not a lot of the players on the bench have WNBA experience.
yeah,
But I'm actually happy to see that. I'm glad that there are players that were in the league or like never really got a shot to be in the league, and now this is their chance. Like, hey, you went and played overseas for 4 or 5 years. Like Catherine Westbrook was on the championship team with Enrique and Jackie Young, and then never really got a shot in the W. And now 6, 7 years later, she's getting an opportunity to play with a really good team like Phoenix and a coach that wants to, get up and down, and I think fits her play style. She's done really well overseas since she graduated from college. So players like that, I'm really excited to see how they do, because while they don't necessarily have a point guard and they cut Celeste Taylor today, which I was a little shocked about. They don't
Everybody was.
necessarily have.
They
Yeah,
cut Celeste Taylor?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
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 dang.
So like I think Samuel started the one, which
Ooh,
I wouldn't.
I caution Matt. I don't think I was just gonna say sorry for interrupting, but
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I caution that because for me that's when you know you you are in a that's when you know it's gone bad when you're starting Sammy at the
Oh, I
one.
agree.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
so initially I'm not starting her. I'm bringing her off the bench. Um, I mean, granted, I only listened in on Natalie Nakas's pregame availability, but she considered At the point guard. She considered At
Yeah,
the point guard in Connecticut. So
yeah,
um, the narratives of oh they don't have a point guard or point guard by committee or positionless basketball. Again,
yeah,
let's see it on the court. Let's see how it works on the court. But um, Phoenix for me has the highest ceiling but the lowest floor. It could
yeah. I would agree.
and I think Vegas for me it was Vegas. I think there'll be a little bit more. There's a little bit more clarity as
Mm-hmm.
to how they work. There's
Yeah.
really one issue with them, and that's depth. Or I bet I could come up with
Right.
a couple more
Yeah,
issues.
Yeah.
But with Phoenix, you're playing a new brand of basketball, and you have it's similar to the Suns. You have a lot of stars, um, and that are in their first year of gelling together. How is that going to work out? So it could work out really well because this team has a lot of talent, but it also could blow to hell. And uh, if it does, Phoenix is not gonna make the postseason with a talented roster. So
Yeah, I think with Vegas, though, I know you mentioned them. I think what kind of might separates them, or why people might have them above Seattle, is how how everything starts and ends with Asian, and how she's developed year to year, and then them getting Chelsea Gray healthy at the start of the season, seeing how she played it unrivaled. No, Jackie got hurt in unrivaled, but I mean she's back. She'll be healthy for the season, and then adding that Jewel Lloyd, adding a slightly bigger guard, um, in exchange for Kelsey Plum. Only thing there is building that chemistry between them is the one like reservation I might have with that team at the moment. I like their bench. I like their depth. Um, but I want to see if they're able to get the opportunity to see the floor. You know, because a lot of times we saw Becky run a 6, 7 player rotation at times, 8 being generous.
yeah, she did that
A lot of these
in the
players
very
playoffs.
riding the
generous.
pine, and it almost costed her that second chip when everybody got hurt. Had to
Yeah,
rely on. I remember Kayla George was shooting the lights out the ball. Well, not
Right.
shooting the lights,
yeah.
shooting
Kayla
the
George,
air
yeah,
out the ball, but she came through what she needed to.
Yeah.
yeah. Sid Colson too.
Sid Kosick, listen, Sid ready. Sid game ready. All right, Sid come in. Indiana got a good vet in Sid Kosick,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I just think personally for me, those are things that I would see that people would probably be more higher on than with Seattle.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I can see
I
that.
Yeah,
I see that. I just I I I just don't see how Seattle can't be. I obviously injuries aside, I
yeah.
don't see how Seattle can't be a top three team. I really don't. Like
They definitely got the potential to do so, and they definitely can. They definitely got what it takes to compete with New York, Minnesota, Vegas.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
time will
that's
tell. We'll definitely have to see what plays out in this WNBA season.
I do think you have a great point with Chelsea Gray coming back fully healthy. she didn't look good even when she came back healthy last year. And I think that was a big part of why the Aces finished where they were. So I do think you have a great point in that. Um, is there any team that we're hating on more than the Golden State Valkyries this season? Because of
I ain't got no
who they
smoke for no
cut.
other teams at the moment. I mean, Reek got smoke for Atlanta, but I don't think I got any smoke for anybody. Not quite yet. So
I
Atlanta
saw I
did.
saw
I'm
Tanisha Wright
pretty
coaching
neutral.
somewhere.
I'm pretty neutral to the
So
playoffs startup.
Atlanta did.
I saw Tanisha Wright
Haley
coach
Jones.
somewhere, so she might be on there.
Okay. I think Atlanta did Haley Jones dirty from the start. Like
100%.
she's a great player. She didn't belong in Atlanta from the start, and then they just straight up cut her. At least
Yeah.
I mean,
Tanisha Wright tried to make Haley Jones Tanisha Wright.
and at
If
least
you've ever seen Tanisha Wright play basketball, that's what she tried to make Haley Jones.
Lordy,
Hey
man,
Just,
man,
Lordy.
I'm just,
I'm one of the what I will hold the Seattle Storm accountable for making one of the dumbest decisions in trading Jade Melbourne to the Mystics. But at least
mm,
they gave her a spot to shine, and I get to root
right
for her. I get to root for her there.
from afar.
She's my favorite player in the league, um, and uh, and I love rooting for her on the Mystics. I still wish she
Yep.
was with the Storm. Um, so I understand the player fandom that you have for Haley Jones. I have the same thing with Jade Melbourne. Um, but I pain or I'm in a lot of pain that she's not with the team. But I totally understand it. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for the W's this season. Um, what do you guys think about Dallas? What do you guys think about
Dallas.
Dallas this year?
Whatchamacallit? It's gonna be a good year for Dallas. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with their new pieces, especially with Paige coming in as a rookie. Yeah, it's definitely one of the things I'm looking forward to.
I I think their ceiling's
Yeah.
finals. I think that I don't think they're gonna reach that ceiling, but I
Oh,
think
Well,
I
that's
think
a high ceiling. I mean, hey, that's a cathedral.
their
hey,
ceiling
Paige
is
won a
the
chip
finals.
back to
Yeah, that's what
back.
I'm saying.
I can't tell
But
me nothing, bro.
In
that's
the
what I'm
same
saying. That's
year?
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the same calendar
Same
year.
calendar year
Exactly.
in like a
Exactly.
span of like 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't underestimate don't underestimate college experience. Like what? Like I think this Dallas Wings team is very similar to last year's Indiana Fever team, and
Yeah.
Mm,
I like look at the. I don't think it's going to be as slow of a start. Well, it might be. It might be as slow as of a start for the Wings as the Fever did last year. But look at what happened when the Fever started to figure it out and started to pick things up. They were one of the hottest teams in the league. I think besides the it was either the no, I think it was the Aces. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was one of the top four teams, but they were one of the hottest teams in the league. And actually, at the time that they were hot, I said, or I wrote an article saying this team. I predict that this Indiana Fever team will go to the finals, um, because of the path that they had. They were a sixth seed,
yeah,
um, and they had the Connecticut Sun in their way, and then they would eventually have
so Lynx.
Minnesota Lynx. Yep. And then they win those two series, they go to the finals. So I think if the same thing happens to the Wings, it's all about getting hot at the right time and the path that if they get into the playoffs, it's about the path that they set for themselves to get to the finals. So it's not that crazy of a prediction if all things go right. But again, all things have to go right.
All
So
things do have to go right, man.
and I think Coach CK is a better coach than the Indiana Fever coach. So
Yeah, Chris is.
than the
Yeah.
last
I'm
Indiana
not
Fever
gonna
coach.
be.
I
Yeah,
thought you were saying Stephanie White. I
no,
was like, wait, what?
I love Stephanie White.
Okay, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
Nah,
But yeah,
Chrissy
no,
size
Chrissy
was.
size. Yeah.
She told
I love.
Caitlin, "Hey, we don't really need to shoot them threes like that no more." You crazy, bro.
That's
No way you drive
wild.
Caitlin Clark and tell her to stop shooting threes. Shoot that
Yeah.
midi. You got me.
By the way, I'm gonna go against the grain here. I love Sophie Cunningham. I I love I love her. She she's great. She's a great. I love. I like. I'm going
I
against the
could
grain
kind of
here.
rock with Sophie a little bit, man.
She's great.
A
I
little
love.
bit.
A
Now
little bit.
I hate when my team plays against her. She's a bitch when my
I
team
said
plays against her. But
she's a terror. But
she
she just got that little she got that grit to her, you know, like she
yeah
Dylan
like
Brooks.
pesky.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah Dylan Brooks.
Sophie Cunningham is WNBA Dylan Brooks.
It's a way better shooter.
Yes.
Yeah yeah way better shooter. I'll tell you what when gosh who was it? Oh was it Aaliyah? Yeah, it was Aaliyah Edwards. No, who was it? It was no, it was Kiki.
No, it's
My
Kiki
bad,
that
my
threw on
bad.
the
Yeah, yeah,
floor.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was Kiki. Wouldn't you guys get up and say what the hell if you guys were thrown to the ground like that? She was thrown to the ground.
Listen, I don't blame either party. It's basketball. Listen, it's basketball. It get physical. It get rough. It get a little chippy. All right. Everybody that don't play basketball, no. Let them rock out. Let them. I'm not saying let them duke it out, but I mean let them go at it. You know, let them battles happen.
Hey man,
Let them battles happen.
everybody gave crap to like go uh go attack Sophie Cunningham. Like get her ass out of here. I'm like, bro, she got thrown to the ground. What do you
Yeah,
expect? She
yeah,
legit got thrown to the ground, and everybody's like, who cares? I'm like, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, she been a villain for a while.
For a minute since college, for real,
Let him hate.
for sure, for
Let
sure.
him hate.
But
I love how she's been a villain playing for Missouri. For
yeah,
Missouri, playing
Yeah.
for Missouri. You're a
Imagine.
villain if
you,
you're in Missouri, really?
yeah.
Yeah, imagine
But
that.
Brenden, you got anything else you want to touch on before we introduce our next guest, or
Nah,
let the
man.
people know where to find you at?
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter, X. I call it Twitter.
I'll still call it Twitter
At
too.
Yep.
at Brenden Potts. And we you can find our World Exposure Report at World Exposure WBB on Twitter, and I believe that's on or on Instagram as well. I do have a couple of articles that I've recently released. One about the storm we talked about, and then I went to the Sabrina Ionescu game in Eugene. That was a blast, and I recapped that one as well. I do have one coming out tomorrow morning about a certain another New York Liberty player. So be on the lookout for that. I'm excited to release that. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm excited to really get into covering the W this year. Last year I didn't really get to my full potential in covering the W, but this year I said I'm 10 toes down. Let's do it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun this summer. So I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to all the content you produce as well, man, and covering the game with you, man. Thank you for joining us on this episode, man.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Brenden Potts, writer. Great analysis for Seattle Storm for Storm fans out there. So definitely want to give him a follow. Um, yeah, time to introduce our next guest. Part of the trio of let me tell him to join. And, part of the trio of the Best Damn W show with Lolivia Pope and Jay, the one and only Nick Andre is joining the show. I was
This is
just
a
waiting for him to join.
throwback.
You said what?
It's a throwback guest.
It is.
He's on here
I'd say we had Nick Andre in here probably about a year
last
ago.
season.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
about a
early
year.
last season, maybe.
because he was doing it for the Love of the Game pod, his own pod, before he started the pod with Jay and Low.
Yep, sure was.
But it hit me. We ain't really talk about it yet though. This is the first W season in 20-something seasons without this lady right here, Diana Taurasi, a legend, a GOAT.
Yeah. It's first season without
We ain't got the grumpy old lady.
Sue, Candace, DT, like
Elena Della Don retired this off season too.
Simone, like it's a lot of goats that just are not playing no more.
Yeah,
like it's new goats now. I mean, Tina Charles still here, playing. Brittany Griner still playing. Obviously, Stewie and Asia are making their mark, but for the most part, it's all like young guns and young players building their legacies right now. So, there's no like DT. I feel like was that last like old guard, like when she was going back and forth with Caitlyn before the season, and then when they played and she gave Caitlyn a little bump or whatever, and it was like I love it. Like I love that she didn't back down at all. I love that how competitive she was, stuff like that. So it's definitely gonna be weird to watch like Phoenix play and just not see a number 3 out there. Just holding people on screens and throwing some little chicken wings that never gets called by the ref on some Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant shit. Oh.
Yeah. I had a feeling you was gonna say it too. I was like, like I just had a feeling. Like I don't know why. I knew what you were saying, but I don't know why I just ultra locked.
Oh man!
Like
awesome Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan stuff, like Michael Jordan's secret stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is gonna be weird to not see DT out there playing with Phoenix. She probably low key mad. Like, hold on, y'all. Put together this roster once I leave, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on. You brought AT, shot 2 up this jump. I could have came out there and just shot 3s all day.
My guy.
What's good with y'all, man?
Boy,
I see y'all.
Follow on space, man.
You already know what's going on. It's a great day, man. We got our A1s now, so ain't no reason to be frowning no more.
Hey, I'm right there with you, big dog.
Yeah, mine coming in on Saturday.
I'm right there with you, big dog. Yes, sir.
I won't be getting caught soon. I promise. I got too many Supremes up here to not get A1s. They would get on my head. They would get on my head.
Pink ones. I still need them pink ones.
I'm getting the pink ones.
I need the pink. Bro, I wanted the pink ones. I wanted the pink ones the most out of all of them, to be honest.
I got a fit
I need
plan.
The pink ones the most.
Streets ready for. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm ready to take fit picks. When I said it was announced last year that the A1s was coming out, I said this gonna be me with the A1s, and it's Wale wearing the AEs. That's gonna be me. I'm about to style them the same way. You gonna see me in every type of way possible that I could get.
Man, what
A1s, man? I ain't even got my. You know what? Bump the wallet. Apple Pay.
Not easy.
Apple
it's not easy.
Hey, same time next week. When the next one's drop?
I don't even know.
Listen, I was on the way to work when I got the A1s this morning. And I ain't gonna lie, the A1 dropped at 10. The A1 dropped at 10. So what am I doing on the way to work at 10 when I'm supposed to be at the o'clock at 10?
Y'all know it's crazy, man. Like, it was like 10:30.
I made it in on time.
It was like 10:30 this morning. I was like, they probably out of it. But I was like, let me just go ahead and check Dick's website anyway. I look on there, they still got the 13s. I'm like, okay, oh shit, let me go ahead and tap this real quick. Let me grab it real quick before they hit someone out.
Yeah.
As you know, that's history.
It was one of the things where it's like, oh, hey, it's Thursday, Tariq. It's Thursday. So I already knew what time it was.
It's my favorite day, man. You already know what it is.
I contemplated on it. I was like, if I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna get the blue ones. Like I'm just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I'm glad I got them though. I'm glad I got them. They're on the way. I can't wait to wear them. Y'all gonna see them. Y'all gonna see me in them. I just gotta plan an outfit now.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just gotta plan an outfit. I had an outfit planned out for the pink ones. but I might have to go to
Hey, bro. Like I pre-planned all this, man.
all this, dog. All this. Only thing I might have needed was a new hat, maybe. I don't know. But listen, Asia, you got a hell of a product with the A1s, and I'm glad to see the success with the A1s. A lot of people had a lot to say about Asia getting the shoe. Very
She ain't got no
controversial
motion.
topic. Talk about she got no motion. She sold out.
Within 5 minutes.
Listen,
Less than 5 minutes.
listen. I don't want to name no names because I don't want to get petty because we rock with everybody here at the H&H show. You know what I'm saying? Like you see the shirt. We rock with everybody here, you know? Until ain't nobody until they do something that we can't rock with. But ain't no other signature athlete shoe sell out within minutes of it dropping. At least not a W. Not a W. Can't say that. You can't say it ain't been done before. She's selling shoes like Jordan.
I was saying, who else in the NBA did it besides Jordan? So like this. I don't call blonde.
She done made the sneakers app prominent again. All right, like A1 did it.
22.
Because it's only one. That's A1. All right, enough of that. But shout out to my boy Nick Andre, writer, podcaster. How you feeling heading into the season, man?
I'm excited, man. This is the best time of the year. And I'll be real. I feel like this year is probably one of the years where it's like the most wide open to me. Because I mean, I know that people have their favorites. Obviously, New York, they have a really great chance of repeating. Vegas has a chance to possibly get back and win the title. You got Minnesota as well. So I think this year is going to be very, very wide open to me. I mean, I don't really necessarily have a favorite, honestly, heading into this year, if you ask me. But I think obviously we're going to see the top contending teams, but I'm also really interested to see a lot of the other like up and coming teams as well. Like one team that I'm really high on this year is the Chicago Sky. I think a healthy Sky team can make the playoffs. Like that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if everybody feel the same way, but when you talk about the talent that they were able to get, like they have a nice combination of young stars on the rise, and then on top of that, like key veterans like Courtney Vanderbilt, like Ariel Atkins. Those are two champions on the team who know how to get it done, who have played at the highest level. Then you combine that with young talents like Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, even Michaela Onyenwere, who people are not really talking about enough, honestly. So
she had a good year last year too.
She had a really great year last year, and she had a good preseason too. Chicago's definitely a team that's up there. I want to see what Seattle can do, especially with the number 2 pick, Dominique Malonga. I think they're going to have a pretty solid year as well. I'm just really excited, honestly, man. I mean, it's crazy to think though, like, because every time around like free agency time, I'm like dying for the W season to begin, and then it's like it just comes fast before you know it. So I mean, tomorrow night's gonna be a story, man. I can't wait.
Yes, we got 3 exciting games tomorrow night. Hold on, let me pull up the slate real quick.
I know Paige played. That's all I know.
Me too, man.
I know Atlanta played.
We got Atlanta Dream against the Washington Mystics at 7:30, and then we also got Minnesota against Dallas. Paige playing against a hometown squad at 7:30 as well. And then the nightcap game would be the Los Angeles Sparks against the Golden State Valkyries, their first official WNBA regular season game. Okay, we see Tariq's picks already for tomorrow night.
You just hating a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, just smidgen of hate. Just smidgen of hate. But I mean, hell of a lineup for sure. I mean, I'll say Dream, Lynx, Sparks.
I'll probably go with that too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the Dallas Minnesota game. Like, who's going to be checking Fee? I'm assuming Melissa, but I got Fee might have one of them games tomorrow to set the tone for the year.
Hey, look, Fee on revenge mode. All right, Fee is on. It's that type of timing, dog. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what Fee does this season. Like she is on MVP watch.
Y'all saw what you did on Rival?
She wanted a championship bad, and she still didn't get one. I know she hot.
Bad.
I was sitting here mad as hell, bro. She started. I'm like, what we doing, bro?
I swore the Lunar Owls were gonna win. That's how crazy this is.
Bro, they was cooking the whole season.
Literally.
They lost one game, and then they lose that one. I'm like, Not one person could step up and make a shot. She was cooking everybody. Didn't matter who
Everybody.
they were sending out there. She was cooking everybody. I remember the first game. They was like, "Oh yeah, it's a man." She was out there cooking stupid.
Okay, she had
Oh yeah, run me that.
damn near 30 that first game. I remember that.
Yeah.
Listen, she was in kill mode.
And
And
then
she's gonna
Chelsea
be
Gray
again
went
this year too.
stupid. I'm like, no, she turned back the clock on him.
See, that's the factor that makes me believe Vegas definitely have a high chance of possibly winning again, man. That Chelsea Gray factor, because a lot of people don't realize she wasn't healthy last year. Now you have a healthy Chelsea Gray who's coming off of a rival championship.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, I just mentioned that when we had Brenden on. I think to speak a little more that she, Vegas was kind of lost last season when she went down. They were kind of lost about running the offense and running the point. I mean, you got Kelsey Plum, who played point in college. You got Jackie Young, who got some point experience. But, I mean, Chelsea Gray was the facilitator, the one that ran the offense, the one that was the point guard. Like she gets this team going. She's the motor on this team, besides Aja Wilson. So a lot of the first half of the season was Vegas trying to find their offensive identity, but they don't really need to do that so much to begin this season. I mean, they're adding in Jewel Lloyd into your starting lineup. So you're replacing Kelsey Plum and Jewel Lloyd.
well, she don't even have to do much, honestly.
Right. Like,
She gotta make
Jewel's
shots
got to
though.
be Jewel and
Yeah.
She shoot 38%. That shit gonna look nasty. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because their field goal percentages have been nasty for a while, but she ain't had a ton of help, so people ain't really been looking at it. But I'm like, hey, y'all be on Enrique head.
Nah,
Jewel numbers
Jewel.
look damn similar.
I was like, yeah, Jewel had a
Hers
very
just pretty.
underwhelming season last year.
Her numbers, her style of getting to her shot is just prettier than Enrique's. Like Enrique is like very rugged. I'm gonna get a couple crossovers, shoot the step back. If you miss it, it looks bad. Jewel, while she does have some shots like that, most of the time she's taking a good shot, she just might not make it. Or she's taking a good shot, but it's like heavily contested. Enrique, she just be out there pulling. And that's the thing I'm looking at. I'm like, hey, with the wings, I'm like, hey, Enrique, you got a point guard now.
Yeah.
Get some easy shots. You can still get in your bag for sure because that's who you are. But let the game come to you. Let the game be easier for you.
Exactly.
Well, you see the way
Somebody that
Enrique
can
lit
set
up
the
when Payne
table for
passed her
you.
the ball?
She missed it, but then she got it back. And she, come on now.
Yeah.
Paige about to be out there. Diamond.
Yeah.
Better be ready to shoot that. You know who's gonna be ready to shoot that motherfucker? Maddie Seegers.
Yeah.
She can be ready to shoot that thing every time.
Another big East killer.
She's
Oh my God.
she's the woman version of Michael Porter Jr. You swing at that ball, she's shooting.
I like that comp.
She's letting it fly. She get the ball. She's like,
so
"Oh, it's my
Sophie
turn to shoot."
Cunningham is Dylan Brooks. We got Maddie Seegers is Michael Porter.
That's a great comp though. I never thought about that.
Yeah, they were just talking about Sophie Cunningham when Brenden was on here, and I was like, he's like, yeah, people don't like Sophie Cunningham. I said she really like Dylan Brooks for real, and they was like, no, that's actually like really on point. I was like, she just shoot better.
Yeah.
But like even when Dylan Brooks was at Oregon, people didn't really rock with him like that. Like
they did.
And people didn't like Sophie Cunningham in Missouri, so it really does line up.
It works.
And Maddie Seegers is way more willing to pass the ball than Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a funny comp. But Maddie Seegers, like she get that ball, she looking to
let that thing fly.
She looking to score. As she should. She was a great scorer in college, and she was doing fantastic last year before she got hurt. I was super hurt about that. I feel like at a certain point they might have to start her over in the list. Just I don't. The first game they started Alyssa, and then they started the second half, and it was like Maddie. The only thing is like the defense at the 4 spot. That's the only thing. Like Alyssa has more size, so it makes more sense for her to start. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Alyssa starts, but Maddie plays more minutes. Especially once the lineups are like more jumbled up, and it's not like, oh, you're playing a big 4 out there. Because I mean, there are teams that have like really big post players, and then there are teams that don't really have any post players at all. And if they do, it's just one. I am looking at Tierra McCown too because she didn't look very good. So
That's always been the question mark with
if she's
DC.
not ready, that's a huge question mark for their front court.
Yeah.
Because starting MHA is not bad, but it's not ideal.
Yeah. So you guys think maybe the Wings got a chance to make the playoffs this year?
I think they're good enough to make the
7,
playoffs.
8.
They have a chance.
Yeah.
They have a chance. I think the 7-8 spot is between the Sparks, the Dream, the Sky, and the Wings.
Yeah.
You got the
Those
Sparks in
those
there.
teams.
Okay.
It's gonna be a juggernaut for the
You said
last
what?
2 spots.
I was saying, okay, you got the Sparks in there. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think the Sparks might get number 7, to be honest. If Cam Brink is able to come back like mid-June,
Yeah.
and I think Rakia is going to be even better this year than she was last year. I think she's
This
going to
is
be
just
empowered this year.
my hot
Just
take.
for some reason, just wasn't really trying to do that.
Right. My hot take is I think Rakia could finish top 5 in scoring. I need it.
Bryce said, let me write that down real quick.
You see.
Hold on, we had Storm to the finals. We got Rakia top 5 in scoring.
I'm keeping track of all of this. You know what I'm saying? So we can
we gotta bring it back.
Go back to this episode and just be like, oh, Nick Andre told us earlier this year. Oh, Brenden told us before the season started. I said this. Rick said that. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, this is.
I do think the Sparks could be up there, though. I think the Sparks could be up there. I think Kelsey Plum has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
I think this is a big season for her. I think she's definitely going to be all WNBA. She's definitely got the capabilities of being first team all W this year. Now, it's only 2 teams, and it's a lot of high level talent, so it's going to be hard to get on those 2 teams. Or it's definitely hard to get on the number 1 team because like 3 spots on that all WNBA first team are really already taken. So you're really just battling for the last 2 spots. Because Fee, Stewie, and Asia getting that.
Okay, that's what I'm about to say.
Every year. Even like Stewie had a down year last year, and they still gave her first team all WNBA. So like she
really did not have the best year last year.
And people would try to make it seem like she was like, nah, that's still Stewie. Like, yeah, it is, but she wasn't. I think it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking if as far as guards go, I know you got Sabrina, you got Caitlin, you got Paige, you got Kelsey, you got Chelsea. You got Skylar.
Yeah, Enrique, Jackie.
Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Like, even though I'm pissed at the Dream, Ryan got to make that step, man.
For sure. She got a hell of a squad this year, too. She got
I'm giving it one more year, man.
She got BG. She got
Bree Jones.
Got BG, Bree Jones.
I forgot the last name. Bree Jones.
I need Jordan Canada to just stay healthy, please. Like,
yeah,
that's a huge piece that they're missing.
Shit, Tahina might be that one.
Try to tell him.
You know, look good in the preseason.
She did.
And she said, "Man, she scored on me. I had to go get my get back." I said, "That's what I want to see right there." She didn't do that when she was in Columbia. I don't care what nobody said. She didn't do that shit in Columbia. People scored. She was like, "Oh, let's go play the game." No, Caitlin scored. She was like, "Nah, let me get the rock. I need that. I need my get back." Same play down. That's what I want to see out of that. That's what I want to see right there. I love that competitive. I love that. She was like, "Thank you to my teammates because they knew I wanted it." Like you can see her like the whole time. Like they try to bring it up half. She like, "Nah, let me get that. Let me get that. Let me get that." They gave it to her. She got to the spot. She said, "Step back." She was like, "Let's go. Run it." It's like, oh yeah, we here. We are here. Because you know what that takes? That takes confidence. Because if you're not confident in your game, you're not gonna do that. Because it could look really bad. It could go really bad. Yeah. So if you're not confident and you go out there, you airball it or you clink that thing, it's gonna look bad. And then everybody goes like, "Oh hell no!" But she made her play, and I don't want to say she got her highlight, but oh shit. I mean, oh snap.
That's 2. All right, so I think Nick Andre lagged out. I think he's gonna try to jump back in though. But
that's only 2 in an hour and 10 minutes. So I think that's progress, man. That's progress. That's progress.
Somewhere. This only episode 1 of the W season.
Exactly. It's
We
progress.
good. That's good. But yeah, man, talk about the Atlanta Dream though. Nick, I know that's a team that you follow pretty closely. What if you could tell us about them heading into this new season?
They're going to be fun to watch. I'll say that, especially from an offensive perspective. For people who knew, the now with the new head coach and everything. I mean, I feel like now they're playing at more of a faster pace, and I think that we saw that throughout the preseason, especially against the Washington Mystics and the Indiana Fever. Like they're looking to get shots up. They're looking to get shots up at a really high rate, and they're looking to space the floor too. And I think, that's one thing that they are doing is challenging the bigs. Like now we're seeing Brittany Griner step out and space the floor and knock down 3-point shots, but she actually made both of her attempts against the Mystics. But she's never had a season, I don't think, where she's averaged even one attempt, in a season. So that's going to be a big challenge for her. Bree Jones is the same way. But it's like, it was like Tariq said. I mean, I think that everybody's waiting for Ryan Howard to take that next step, and we obviously know that Ryan is very talented
Oh yeah.
as an offensive player. And even last year, I think, I mean, a lot of people may not pay attention, but she also, in my opinion, improved defensively. But I think there's still like that leadership quality that she has to have, especially to take this team further. I mean, she's the franchise player for that team. They built that team around her, and she got
Yeah.
quality talent around her. We talk about Brittany Griner, Alicia Gray, Jordan Canada, Bree Jones, Victoria Walker Kimbrough, like the whole list goes on and on. So with this roster on paper, there's no question that Atlanta should be able to make the playoffs with all the talent that they have. But I think their success is going to go as far as Ryan Howard takes them. Like as long as she's continuing to grow as a leader and take that extra step as far as leading the team, that's where people will start believing in Atlanta as a legitimate like playoff contender. But until she does, I don't know. Like I still have the dream making the playoffs, but in order to really solidify themselves as like one of the more respected teams in the league, Ryan Howard definitely has to take that leap. If you ask me.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree, and I think we saw flashes of it last year, like you mentioned. I remember she was an All Star snub before the injury to who got injured. I forgot who got injured. Was it?
Talking about 2023, somebody got in, yeah, over Ryan.
No, I thought that was last year.
Was it 2023?
Oh, last year? Oh no, if she might have
Last
not been because she was in and out of the lineup. Like she was hurt a lot.
I
So
would say last year was also the Olympic year, so it would have
yeah,
been
that's
the Olympic
So
right.
I might have
games
been thinking
and
about a
then
year
All
before
Stars.
last then.
Yeah, she was playing the 3-on-3 during the All Star weekend.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh
then
yeah, because she was on a 3-on-3 team for
yeah,
what
yeah,
you call it
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
for the Olympics.
yeah.
Okay, get my years mixed up. Anyways, though, we've seen flashes. Point is, we've seen flashes of Ryan step
Mhm.
or at least make strides to becoming that leader for Atlanta and really taking over games and being the dynamic player that she is. But we got to see it full time. We got to see it. Um, What's the word I'm looking for? Consistently, for a full season. So definitely agree with you there because she is the focal point of this team, and you do have veteran presence on the team now. You do have higher talent on the team now. It shouldn't be an excuse as to why the Dream end up in a similar position as they were last year. I expect the team to improve based on the off-season moves and just based on how the roster is constructed around Ryan Howard. I'm expecting a big year from Ryan.
Yeah. I have her as second team all WNBA, so I'm definitely expecting a huge jump from her. I think her and Alicia Gray play off each other really well. And I think especially for Alicia Gray, like she's fantastic in the open court. So playing at a faster pace only helps players like Ron and Alicia. And I think again, I think Tanisha Wright was really just trying to micromanage a lot of things. And then when she was micromanaging, it wasn't like she was running plays. Like they was just coming down there doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like now you're in an actual system. You've got post players that know how to seal, that know how to set screens well, that want to set screens, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not setting screens just to get the ball. They're setting screens to get you open. Like Bree Jones is one of the best screen assist players in the league. So when you can get her to set you a screen, that's a big body to get around. Like Ron get around that, and Alicia turn the corner faster than damn near anybody in the league. So if you give her a little bit of space or a little bit of a go, she's gone, and it's a layup every time. So I think Alicia could have another All Star season. I'm definitely interested to see how the Bree Jones and BG fit is. Like, are they playing them together a lot? Are they, kind of spot minutes? Like, I know BG's been shooting the three a little bit more over the past couple of years, but that's a nasty spacing spot. Like if they're playing a lot of minutes together, like they're gonna dominate the boards, but you might be able to pack the paint a little bit. Like I don't know if they have enough shooting outside of like Ryan and Alicia to really like make teams pay, or like for them to make teams pay for not respecting them and giving them the space. But again, this is all on paper. We haven't seen. I mean, we've seen like two preseason games, so it's hard to tell what everything's gonna look like because a lot of coaches are kind of not playing their full cards, just throwing players out there to see what they were gonna do, and then uh, a lot of times in the past couple of years we see one thing, and then we get to the regular season, and that player that was playing don't even see the floor like at all. Like that player was starting, and now they're not even touching the floor, right? So it's always interesting, especially with Jordan Canada being hurt. I think that throws off the rotation a little bit for sure. Um, so I'm definitely interested to see how they deal with that as well because Jordan Canada is an experienced guard and is a pass first guard. So there's a difference when you have somebody that's looking to set the table for everybody, and then somebody that's like, okay, I have to set the table because the person that normally does that is not here right now. And I feel like that's been a problem for their dream is like point guard injuries the past couple of years. Like I don't think they've
Yeah.
had great point guards, but even when they've had them, they've all been injured. So
Yeah.
like you can't even get consistent point guard play because they've all been hurt.
Even in the past couple years when they had like Daniel Robinson, Ari McDonald, like they were all in and out of the lineup. So I mean that is a good point. Like finding consistency at the point guard position.
Yeah. But so for what would your top four projection like? What's your top four teams look like projected wise, like for standings?
I'll say Minnesota 1, New York 2, Vegas 3, and I'm gonna go Indiana 4.
That's exactly what mine is.
Okay, so pretty on par with what we got as well.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
exactly what mine is.
Indiana's up there, man.
At the moment, man, Indiana looks good, bro. I like their roster, the way they constructed their roster a lot. I think year two, Caitlin is going to be special. I think you give Caitlin players that I don't even know how to say this in a that just understand the game better. Like
I
you
knew he
just
was gonna say it. He was trying to say know how to play basketball, but he didn't want to say it because he broke.
Yeah.
I would listen. You know what's funny? I'll bring this point up for a little bit before getting to my actual point. But I saw the clip of D Wade and Candace Parker, yo, two goats, where
Hold on.
Candace is like the thing that our game is missing is actual criticism. It's like people feel like they can't
Yeah.
criticize
That's all
the
they.
women's game. Like
Yep.
no, like have actual criticism, like critique the game, talk about the game.
Right.
Like they are professional athletes, and they know at least they can understand when it comes from a place of like actual critique and criticism rather than slander.
Mhm.
You know, because
Yeah.
they've gone through it. They're professional athletes. They've been playing for however long, professionally or amateurly. They've been around the game, see the game, watch the game, shoot. The retired players cover the game, or even the current players cover the game that in their off seasons. Like we seen like Monique Billings be on the sideline report for the Atlanta Hawks, where she was in with the Atlanta Dream. Other players have done so too. Chelsea Gray did work with the Sacramento Kings. So it's like these players, they understand the landscape, but it's these media personalities that take things too far most of the time. It's that, and then they don't actually watch the game enough to really critique the game in the way that it needs to be critiqued. Like you got First Take and you got Pat McAfee. They're not watching a full 44 season WNBA season. They're just watching what's hot, the game of the week, if that.
Man, they watching Caitlin highlights,
That's
and then
it.
they going based off of that.
That's
They're not
really
even
what it
watching the
is.
full game.
That's it.
They watching Caitlin highlights. And like, yeah, everybody else is trash.
That's it.
Give Caitlin everything.
That's it. But the point that I was making here about the Indiana Fever though was they improved as a team. You got players with more experience now. You got players that were on the team last year that have experience playing with Caitlin, and
Yeah.
pairing that with their experience of getting in the league, and it's like they're understanding and processing things a little faster, a little better. So I think Caitlin was just one of those players. Like I know the term gets thrown around a lot, like unicorn players and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as her class and as far as like her era of like collegiate athletes, I felt like she was ahead of the curve for a long time. Same with Paige, same with Juju. Like these are players that are ahead of the curve that probably could have went to the W sooner if it wasn't for restrictions. So it's like you got a player that is that experience at that high skill level. A lot of players haven't played with a player like that before. That was their first time playing with somebody like that. Kind of similar, like I mentioned. I don't know if y'all seen Winning Time, but Magic Johnson, when they were talking about Magic Johnson first practice and how he was hitting guys no look or hitting guys and they weren't expecting it. Like that's kind of what was going on with Caitlin as well in her first season. But ultimately, though, I do think with the improved roster, the improved team, and with a veteran head coach who can coach a team to a championship, I think this team is pretty darn scary.
I think Caitlin. I think that she leads the league in assists. To me, I feel like her numbers will drop. I think she averaged like 19 last year. She'll probably average around like maybe
I
16,
want to say it was
17. I
like
think her
19. You were 18 or 7 or 19 or 7, one of the two.
something like that. I think her score numbers will drop like just slightly, just because of the talent, like the more talent that she does have around her, and I think that we'll see her more of a facilitator throughout most of the year. Obviously, whether she's on the fast break or not, she has the decision whether to score the rock or possibly find an open teammate. But now you talk about a lot of the talent that she has next to her. She already had both Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boss, but now you're adding in Natasha Howard and Dewana Bada, who are both champions. You talk about other great players as well. Like, we mentioned Sophie Cunningham. I think Lexi Hull is going to take a big leap this year
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh
So
yeah.
they got a nice squad though. And I know that we more so focus on Caitlin, but if they utilize her correctly, man, I think Aaliyah Boston can be scary this year. I think last year she pretty much kind of established herself as one of the best bigs in the game, and I think that she can even take that to another level this year. So Indiana from top to bottom is scary, honestly. Like,
That one
yeah,
two
I
punch.
don't really know if they have many flaws on their roster, honestly, when you think about it.
Nah, top to
Yeah, they
bottom,
don't.
that 1-2 punch between AB and CC is it's deadly.
Yeah, I think with the spacing too this year, like that opens the floor up for Aaliyah Boston way more. Like,
Yeah,
I think post players have been super physical with Aaliyah Boston her first couple of
Mm-hmm.
years. And hopefully, referees are like, all right, we gotta, kind of rein that in a little bit because I feel like I mentioned this a couple of days ago on uh our full episode where I was talking about how Cat doesn't really get calls in my opinion. I think it's very similar to Aaliyah. I think Aaliyah gets pushed around a lot, and then when she retaliates, is when they're like, "Oh, foul on Aaliyah." If she ends up in foul trouble, I'm like, bro, she played at South Carolina for 4 years, was an anchor of that defense, and was never in foul trouble outside the one Iowa game.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me all of a sudden she gets to the league where players are physical with her and she's the one in foul trouble all the time? That don't make sense. And then it's always like somebody trying to go at her, which like Aaliyah is the most mild mannered player in the league,
Yo.
and it's like
Anytime I see
these
Aaliyah
OG,
get
these
into it with
vets are always trying to
somebody,
go
she's
at her. I'm
always
like,
like innocent looking, and it's
John
like,
Cole was mad as hell. I don't know
yeah.
what she was mad about,
And then Aaliyah
and
just
it should
like,
be
yo,
like, what's up with
you
them?
ain't slick though,
Like,
gang. You ain't slick.
but
We see it. You ain't slick, bro. You can't just walk away like you all innocent. No, you had your part in this too.
yeah,
But I
but
mean,
I
I
think
like it
Aaliyah, I
though. I
think
rock
Aaliyah
with it.
could be really good this year.
Yeah,
I think like because you're not gonna be able to help. You definitely can't help off Caitlyn. You can't help off Kelsey. You can't help off Dewana. I guess you can help off Natasha, but Natasha can shoot it too. So,
yeah,
and then if they play a smaller lineup with like a Sophie or Alexi in there, even a Demiris Doncic, like you can't help off any of them either. So, just putting more shooters, more high IQ players, more defenders around Caitlyn just helps her as a whole. And I think a lot of times where she felt like she had to force a lot last year, and that was a lot of that was due to Christie's size, in my opinion, of just put the ball in Caitlin, put the ball to Caitlin, put the ball to Caitlin. Because so early in the season, they kept the ball. I don't say they kept the ball out of her hands, but they kept giving it to like Erica Wheeler, Christy Wallace. And I'm like, y'all wasting possessions by doing it this way. Like,
yeah,
if those are the ones if you're taking the ball out of Caitlin's hands, you're throwing it down to Aaliyah or you're giving it to Kelsey and let her make a play. Like,
yeah.
it just they were just trying. I think she was experimenting too much when she already had a player that you knew what she was great at.
Yeah.
And I think they went into the season knowing exactly what needed to be around her, and what needed to be around Aaliyah, because a lot of times Aaliyah didn't have the space, especially in those first couple of games where her and Alyssa are both trying to score in the post at the same time, and it's like y'all are negating what each other is good at. And then Alyssa, had to step out and shoot three a lot more, and it just wasn't a good fit. I think this year is just a better fit more than anything else. Like the team fits together well. They seem like they have more chemistry than last year. Um, and I think that goes a long way. Like I talked about when Brenda was on, like the chemistry for New York from year one to year two was really the big difference. Obviously,
Night
they
and
added
day.
like players like Leone Phoebus, but the chemistry was the difference between how they played in the first season, how they played in the second season, and how they were able to go throughout the playoffs and deal with the ebbs and flows of a playoff series. Like that final series against the Lynx, they could have sat down and just been like, yeah, they got it like a couple of different times, and they just kept battling back, kept battling back. Now, granted, I think they cheated. The Lynx got cheated, but they
Very
still the
controversial.
Liberty still did what they're supposed to do. So they still made the plays that they needed to make, and I don't think they would have made those plays the first year they were together had that had been the series instead of the Aces series from the year prior. I think either way, I don't think that specific team in year one was ready. Now, I'm not saying that Fever are ready this year to win a championship, but I think they're definitely in that conversation of like, if everybody's playing at a high level and everyone's understanding what everyone needs to do, there's definitely a capability of, players getting hot, teams getting hot, and matchups are a huge thing too. Like I think a lot of thing for the Fever, like they lost a lot of games early, but they played so many good teams right away. Like they played the Sun 3 times, they played the Liberty twice. Like it's hard to beat the best teams in the league, especially early in the season, when you have a team that hasn't really come together yet. So I think them having more time as a whole, as a group, it's definitely going to help them to start the season. And I think they played like 10 games in like 17 or 18 days last year to start the season. So uh, I don't think they're going to do that to them again this year, but they played a lot of games to start the season last year, and they're not even playing opening nights. I mean, they're playing second opening day, but um, I'm curious to
Play the
see how that
Chicago
looks of
Sky.
like fatigue wise for Indiana, like, or for Caitlin, I would say, because I feel like a lot of times she was just getting tired at the
Yeah.
end of games just because they were running her so much. Teams were being physical with her as they should have been. And then she probably at certain points of games and against certain teams felt like she just had to do whatever she could do to try to help her team win. But now this year she shouldn't feel like she has to do that as often.
Right. And I mean that's really where you got to utilize the other talent around you. Honestly, if you're a player like Caitlin Clark, like I mean, obviously we know how dynamic of a guard that she is, but now she has to send a message to the opposing team saying, hey, I still got other quality talent. Like I got Aaliyah Boston, I got veterans like DeWanna Bonner, I still have Kelsey Mitchell on my team. And let's be real, I mean, I think the second half of last year, Kelsey just went crazy. And I think people
Yeah.
forgot about that. So Caitlin has a lot of quality talent around her to where defenders can't necessarily put their primary focus on her. I mean, look, I don't know. Look, I mean, if she has like 30 and like 12 or something like that, then of course. But I mean, she doesn't have to do
Yeah.
that on a nightly basis. So that's why I feel like Indiana's dangerous, honestly, because I feel like all five positions are capable of being able to take over the game at some point.
Yeah, I agree with y'all as well, man. This about to be that I understand it now year for Caitlin. Getting paired with the vets that she's getting paired with this season, and that's and the talent that's developed over the off season. Sky's the limit for them. Like I can see this team going far in the playoffs. I can see this team, man. Like I just look forward to seeing how Caitlin's game opens up a little more. And that's crazy to say for a player like Caitlin, who we've seen a lot from already. Like her collegiate career is one of the more prolific careers we've seen in our time. So
Facts.
um, another team that I want to talk about real quick that I don't think we talked about enough yet is the defending champion, New York Liberty. They're back with a tenacious squad. Like they got better. They got some players that came back. They got some new players. They improved defensively. I feel brought in Isabel Harrison, Tasha Cloud, brought back Marine Johannes. You got Sabrina coming in another year. Look and see how she develops. You got Stewie coming in. You got John Quell coming off the Finals MVP. Leonie Phoebus was a big part of that championship squad last year. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to see how their season unfolds, being that they're as good as they are heading into the season. And I don't know. It's like looking into our champ predictions and stuff for a little bit, but it's like I'm thinking about it now. It's like it's gonna be hard to try and compete with that team when they're at full strength, top level. But I mean, it's other teams that can definitely compare and compete with them. But I mean, as of now, they are looking like the best team in the league.
I agree. I think this year New York has a very high chance of repeating. I know it may not be the most popular pick, which is honestly kind of crazy because like they were the defending champs and people still didn't really talk about them as much as they should have been talked about. But they definitely improved. I mean, you talk about like to me like the Natasha Cloud trade was huge, and I don't think people really understand that. Like now you pair her
Nothing.
literally. And now you're pairing
Nothing.
her in the backcourt, one of the best shooters in the league is Sabrina, who is also another dynamic guard as well. So you have two dynamic playmakers who can shoot. Obviously, Natasha is an elite defender. Sabrina's starting to, improve slowly but surely. But that dynamic backcourt right there is going to be dangerous to watch, honestly. And then you talk about the other players as well, like Marine Johannes is back. Leonie Phoebus played a huge role last year in the postseason for them. Honestly, people need to start talking about this one more. Niara Sabali, who had a huge game five,
Yes.
is
Yes.
coming back this year. I think she's
Yes.
going to be a lot better, honestly.
Yes.
The other thing, like New York is another team that's really good from top to bottom, and I think the one thing that always like when you compare the two teams like Vegas and New York, like I think the one thing that New York does have an advantage as far as is depth, and I feel like their bench has always been more solid in my opinion than Vegas. Like you could arguably say that starting five wise, Vegas is more talented, but when you talk about like who's a deeper team, New York is by far the deeper team if you ask me. So
Oh, for
when you
sure.
look at them this year, yeah, I mean, like when you look at them this year, they have a very high chance of repeating. Honestly, I mean, you talk about obviously the combination of Sabrina, John Coyle, Stewie. I know that they're going to miss Benijah this year due to her injury, but
Yep.
even without Benijah, like this team is still going to be one of the top teams to compete for another title.
Yeah, looking at their roster, bro, they got Kennedy Burke, Natasha Cloud, Marquisha Davis, Leonie Phoebus, Rebecca Gardner, who, hey, don't forget,
Rebecca Gardner,
that's a hell of a defender.
yes,
For those that remember, Isabel Harrison, Sabrina Nescu, Marie Johannes, Jonquel Jones, Niara Solly, Jalen Sherrod, and Brianna Stewart. This roster stacked.
oh, Jalen Sherrod made it.
Yeah,
Nice,
Yep.
Jalen Sherrod made the starting
nice.
roster. Yeah,
Yeah. I think she could play a role this year, to be honest.
She can.
I
yeah,
think I
especially
think
being
they
around the
really like
team
what
last
she can
year
bring.
and being on that championship squad for sure. Having that
Yeah.
championship
I think you
pedigree
can
under
throw
her
her and
belt.
Natasha Cloud out there together sometimes.
Mm,
It's a lot of speed and it's a lot of defense.
Yes.
Like like I don't know, man. Like when you were talking about, Natasha Cloud and Sabrina playing together, the first thing that came to mind is just what they're going to be able to do in the fast break and the secondary break. Like past couple of years, like salute, you could just see that she wasn't the same. She was slowing down
Mm.
instead of just getting up and down the court fast break wise. But Sabrina's great at the hit ahead pass. Natasha Cloud is always running on the wing. If she doesn't have the ball, she's great at running the point, running down the court. And Stewie and John Core are two of the best post players at running down the court and running down the lane to get easy layups in transition. So, and then Phoebus, you find her in the corner or on the wing. This shit is basically money. And then you also got to worry about Marine falling to the left and shooting a three. I mean, in the
gang,
preseason game, she shot,
gang.
and at Oregon, she shot one off the right leg, and then shot another one off the left leg. I'm like, yeah, she's OD, bro. Like, she just be out
Fact.
there trying stuff, and they be like, hey, that's
Bro,
Marine.
her jump shot is just in general is her just always leaning. Like she's always leaning
Yeah,
in her shot. Like it's
yeah,
not a shot just
Literally,
straight up. She
yeah,
always has to lean.
she could be
It's
going left, just shoot it, next thing you know, fall over to the left
yeah,
side. It's crazy.
like she's got a certain
yeah. I
swagger about
remember,
her game. I love her game, bro. I love her. I love her game, bro.
It's exciting.
I love her game.
I remember playing with her on 2K, but I think it might have been like 2K21 or maybe 20. Like Tanisha Wright was still in the Liberty. This is how long ago that was.
Oh, damn.
But I remember like shooting with her, and I was like, "Why they got her shooting like that?" And then I went and watched. It was like, "Oh, she really shoots like that." Like they had her with the leg. Like I'm like, "Why she
Yeah,
shoot fade away? She was wide open."
you got me want to load up 2K when we get done potting. forget this Denver and OKC game, bro. I'm about to load up 2K. If you ever reach your headers for 2 hours.
Thanks. But now let me ask y'all this though, just real quick. How are y'all feeling about Stewie this year? Because I thought Stewie wasn't really at her strongest last. I mean, look, granted they won the title, but I still feel like Stewie was not at her strongest last year. I also didn't really feel like she was at her strongest even in Unrivaled, and then of course her coming off of that knee injury as well. So how are we feeling about Stewie heading into this year?
I feel like this is like all right. So this is how I envision like the New York Liberty. Like we all know they started this team, or at least this part of the team, this iteration of the team with Sabrina drafting her in 2020, building around her, bringing pieces around her, having her develop into the player that she is today, and furthermore, still developing into the player that she is. And I think this is when things start to kind of shift for real a little bit to where Sabrina's more the focal point of the team rather than Stewie is. I mean, when Stewie got there, 2 years ago, her first year there, she was everything went through Stewie. Stewie was the focal point. Stewie was the big piece. Stewie was like the
The
number one
MVP.
option. Yeah. And I think as far as Sabrina went, like I want to say Sabrina kind of had to find herself a little bit playing with that star power of Stewie and John Quell. We saw John Quell. I don't say struggle, but like she could say struggle, but like took a little bit of time to like get to herself too. I think the chemistry kind of helped. Well, I think the time together and the building of that chemistry kind of helped them become into the version of the New York Liberty they are today. But I think this is whenever Stewie starts handing the keys over and making Sabrina that one option and having her be the focal point of the team. But I think she'll still have a good year. Probably still be an all-star. Hopefully she's healthy. So
man, I saw her say that this is the health that she's felt in the last couple of years. So I'm expecting Stewie to look like Stewie. I'm expecting her to be one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league. I still think she's the top 3 player in the league. I think the conversation between
Easily.
Fee and Stewie. And I feel like it's easy to say like, hey, yeah, this is a time for Sabrina to become that player. Stewie ain't old. Stewie's still one of the ones. Like Stewie
She's only
still has the
30.
motivation, and Stewie's got to be looking around. And I don't know her personally, but from what she won 4 championships in college. She's won multiple championships. She won multiple championships with the Storm. She won a championship with the Liberty. I think she knows how last year looked like. I think she knows what the finals look like. I think she realized I got outplayed. Fee outplayed her in that series on
Yeah.
both ends of the floor, in my opinion. And I think Fee was far and away the second best player in the league last year. And for Stewie, that's somebody that's her younger sister. Obviously, it's not her actual younger sister, but that's her younger UConn sister. And if I'm looking at that, I'm like, all right, she did that. Asia just broke a record last year with the most points in a single season, won another MVP. Like, I got to keep making my mark on this league too, because if I want to put my name up there with the greats of the greats, this is the time that I really got to step it up. Like, I can't do it before Asia gets to her prime and before Fee gets to her prime. I got to do it while they're in their prime too, because she's still in her prime.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think because she tore her Achilles, 2019, going into
Yeah,
the bubble, I think.
20.
So,
It might have been the year before that. I think
they won it. They won
they won
in
at 18.
18. Mystics won 19, and then they won again in the bubble in 20. So I think
It might have been
she
19
tore
then.
it in 19.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that she's coming in this season super motivated. I think she's seen a lot of people talk. I think she's seen all the conversation. I think she's still going to be first team All WNBA. I think she's still going to be um, a player that you just on a night to night basis, she can go get you 30 and 10 any given night. I think the real difference last year with her was just she didn't seem explosive and she wasn't as efficient as she normally is. Like she ramped it up a little bit after the Olympics, but that first half of the season was really that wasn't Stewie like at all. And then the second half of the season kind of like measured it out to where it looks better. But we know Stewie as a player that like gets to her spots, makes her shots, and everything just looks relatively easy. I feel like for her last year, a lot of things looked really tough. And I think a lot of that had to do with the knee injury. It's just like she would get the ball sometimes and she would just like start overthinking. She would think about what she could do with it. And I think that was a lot to do with the injury. But I think this season she's coming in. She says she's fully healthy coming in. Um, so I think this is a season where she comes in motivated. I think this is another year where Sabrina does progress.
Mhm.
2 years ago, she broke the 3-point record. Last year, she was way better in the mid range, way better at the floater, way better off the dribble, creating for herself and others. So I'm interested to see what that progression looks like this year. But I still think it's Stewie's team, in my opinion.
I agree. I 100% agree. I mean, as long as Stewie's still playing at a high level, I mean, it's going to be her team. I mean, even despite how great John Quillen can be, how great Sabrina can be, how great Natasha Cloud can be, like things got to run through Stewie. And this is like you said. I mean, I think Stewie understands that she didn't play at her best over the past year, especially coming off of an MVP year in 2023. So I think she's going to come into this year motivated because I mean, obviously she understands that it is hard to repeat as champions, and I think that that's something that New York definitely wants to do this year. So I'm definitely expecting a much better Stewie, especially if she's saying that she's the healthiest that she's been in a long time. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, if she's
Yeah,
saying she's healthy, she's been in a long time. I'm going to trust her word on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing her have a spectacular season.
I got one
Um,
more question. One more question. One more question.
go ahead, go ahead.
I want to hear Nick's thoughts on the Chicago Sky.
I'll be real. I got them. I think they could finish either 6 or 7. I think they're that good. And I actually have Tyler Marsh winning Coach of the Year. He may not win it because
I
political
like that.
reasons, but I think he'll be one of the best coaches. But I think it means like I said earlier. I feel like their roster definitely improved. I know people question, and even myself, I'll be real. I question why they traded the third pick because obviously you could have
Mhm.
potentially got a player like Sonya Citron. I mean, but at the end of the day, it worked out for them. They end up getting a key player like Ariel Atkins, who is a former champion, who is a key veteran in this league. And I
Yep.
think you add that with the combination of another key veteran and a legend, in Courtney Vandersloot, and then other key players as well, like Elizabeth Williams, others. To like they really made it a focal point to build around their two dynamic bigs, and Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. And I think them doing that shows that like those are the two players that they want to continue to like build around for the near future. Honestly, so I think Chicago has a nice quality team. Honestly, and I mean, and you can even get to like the rest of the team too. Like I think Haley Van Lith in those couple preseason games that she had, I thought she was really good, especially as far as controlling the offense with her playmaking and scoring at the same time. And I think that she's going to be a huge piece for them coming off the bench as the backup point guard. So Chicago is going to catch a lot of people by surprise, if you ask me. I know that they may not be like one of the top tier contenders like Vegas or Minnesota or New York or whoever, but I think this year is going to show us that this is a team that is on the rise. Honestly, they could have made it last year in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I think Angel Reese's injury did play a role in why they weren't able to clinch that 8 seed. But I stand on the fully healthy Sky team can definitely make the playoffs. So we just got to hope to keep we just got to hope to see them fully healthy this year and obviously competing at a high level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree
most
with that.
definitely, man. Oh, go ahead.
No, I agree with that. I think like I said earlier, they're between it's between them, the Sparks, the Dream, and the Wings for me for the 7 and 8 spots. And I think I agree. This guy definitely had a good chance. I think at a certain point, like we were looking at the numbers and um like who needed to win what, and then obviously Angel went down with the injury and he was pretty much over after that. But um the player that I'm really looking at on this team is Camila Cardoso. I think she is the key. I think if she is as dominant as she's capable of being on defense and continues to progress offensively, I think she's the key, or she's the barometer of this team. I think um, this team will go as far as Camila Cardoso's dominance will take them. I think we know what we're going to get from Angel in terms of rebounding the ball, intensity, energy, just always being high motor, always having a knack for the basketball. Courtney Vandersley is gonna, get set the table for everybody. Ariel Atkins is one of the most consistent players in the league, super steady. But if you can get Carmelo Cardoso to be dominant on both sides of the basketball, I think that opens everything up for Chicago.
I think she's in for a big year, honestly. Like I think she's gonna have a lot of dominant performances this year. I think that she's developed a lot, especially playing this past season overseas, and I think that she's gonna carry over what she learned last year or this past year, into her second year. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely a big duo for the future. Looking forward to seeing them dominate this league. They dominated college against each other, and I look forward to them dominating the pros with each other, man. Um, I'm just excited for their future. Like them two, Haley Van Liff, you got Maddie Westbells on that team as well. Definitely looking to see how she gets used and how she develops in her pro career. I think the vets that they added on this team will help out a lot and help, filling a few of the gaps that they had last year, or just filling a couple spots that they needed improvement in. Um, Definitely looking for a big year for Michaela Onyenwere as well. She's former rookie of the year. Um, I feel like she's kind of underappreciated, overlooked, and is a hell of a guard, hell of a player out there. So definitely should be a good year for this Chicago Sky.
100%.
For sure, man. Nick Andre, anything else you got on your mind that you want to get across to the people? Let the people know where they can find you at, man.
Yeah. Before we get there, I want to ask one more quick question before we get out of here. I want to get y'all thoughts on Phoenix because I'm kind of I still don't know whether I have them making the playoffs or not. And it's crazy to say that because they
Ooh,
still have teams like AT. They just acquired Satu and they still have Kalia Copper. And this is a Kalia who was coming off of a career year last year, if you ask me. But I still
Right.
feel like they're weak as far as their guard play, honestly. And I think that may play a key role in them possibly missing the playoffs. Because I mean, you like last year you had Natasha Cloud and Diana Taurasi. Now this year, I don't even know like who their starting guards are like off the top of my head, but I really want to get y'all's thoughts on it because I feel like they're talented enough to make the playoffs, but then again, like there's a chance they probably can't.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
leave
said
it up to.
earlier, I think. Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to just say leave it up to Phoenix. I mean, we saw how Phoenix played last year, how they were up and down, and it was like, yo, what team do we want to be today? Like just the inconsistency because they'll give Aces a hell of a game and fall short, and then lose like to the Chicago Sky or somebody that should they should be beating by at
Yeah,
least 10. They're losing to by 5. Like, what's going on? But I think with the roster changes and adjustments, pairing Kyle with AT and Saw 2 should be good for them. They definitely do got to address the guard situation, but I don't think that'll be too detrimental to them for them not to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at it as I definitely agree with you about the guard spot. That was my question mark. Um, I said this earlier, but I think they have the highest possible ceiling, but also have the highest or lowest possible floor of like they could be a top three team. They could be in that conversation of like contenders, but they could also be a team that doesn't even make the playoffs. Um, I think having Alyssa Thomas and Satu Sabali both being very versatile players and that are able to create for others helps them. But I still think you need somebody that can come down the floor and just help them out make plays. Like Alyssa Thomas and Satu shouldn't have to bring the ball down every single play. And I know like one of their main guards they have right now is Sammy Wickham, but I don't really know how she looks as a starting point guard. Like she's a
right.
great shooter, but I don't really see her as somebody that comes down and they cut Celeste Taylor. So Um, it just there's even more question marks there. It's like I don't really know what the guard spot looks like. Maybe they're waiting to see different players, like who's getting cut and who they can bring in, things like that. But um, I think they have good depth outside of that. I feel like their wings and their forwards are really good. But then like the point guard and the center spot have question marks. Like Natasha Mack is good, but is that who you trust as your starting center to try to win a championship? And then the same thing for the point guard spot. Like they have 2, 3, and 4 perfect, like great fits. I feel like, but 1
Yeah.
and 5 just don't have that same umph to it. Like if they had, even if you had like a Jordan Canada, like I'm looking at
Yeah,
this team completely different because that's a player
yeah,
that you
I agree.
she understands her role. She knows exactly what she needs to do when she comes down the floor, and it just helps them out. Um, but I am interested to see what it looks like for Alyssa Thomas because I think she's wanted to be on a team like this where she can really be that table setter of like, all right, Satu and Ka can be the number 1 and 2 options. I can score when I need to, and just make plays for everybody else. And I think this is also a setting where Satu finally gets to play her brand of basketball where she can get the ball and go and doesn't really have to worry about like, hey, this 25, 26 point per game scorer needs the ball on the outside or needs this ball or has this ball. And I'm constant of her waiting. And then I can make a play if I get the ball this possession. I think, um, or I would hope that the coaches and her teammates are going to empower her to play her style of basketball and use her versatility to her advantage and the team's advantage. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a team where it's like it seems very top heavy and like they have good pieces, but they're missing like the right surrounding pieces. Like I feel like it's easier to put like a 1, a 3, and a 5 and figure out the 2 and 4 than have the 2, 3, and the 4 and then figure out the 1 and the 5. Like that's a really hard trade off. I feel like, especially with a team like this,
yeah,
because their bench isn't WNBA experienced either. Like
Yeah.
90% of their bench is players that came from overseas or didn't really get a chance in the league or played maybe a year in the league or played a few games in the league. Like the players that they have coming off, they haven't really had time to be like, all right, I know exactly what I'm gonna do, or I'm confident in what I can do in the W. Like obviously the preseason games might have helped, but for a player like Catherine Westbrook, like I mentioned earlier, like she was on those championship teams or on the championship team with Enrique, Jackie Young, and never really got a shot. And now she's finally getting that chance years and years later. But it's like, are those kinds of players ready for this moment? Because this is a team that with the star players that you do have, you are trying to compete. So are those players ready to come in and help against those big teams that they're going to need to beat to get to the spot they want to get to? You're going to have to beat the Lynx. You're going to have to beat the Aces. You're going to have to beat the Liberty. You're going to have to beat the Fever. You're going to have to beat the Storm to get where you want to go. And if you're in that middle of the pack or towards the bottom, if you're in that bottom 4, your chances of making it are drastically different because you're going to end up playing a Liberty, Lynx, Aces, potentially a Fever, or even a Storm. So um, if I'm them, I'm trying to secure one of those top 4 spots, um, just because if you're in the bottom 4, it's going to be a really tough road to try to get to the spot where you're trying to get to, because I'm sure they have championship aspirations with the stars they have, but those surrounding pieces aren't the greatest at this current moment. But we could see them play the next week or so and be like, all right, never mind, we were wrong. Like the surrounding pieces, they didn't really need a point guard, whatever the case may be. But in in my experience, most teams need a point guard when you want to win a championship.
oh yeah,
So unless you got
most
LeBron
importantly.
James, you need a point guard.
You need a
It's
point guard.
essential.
You need a point. We are seeing that in these NBA playoffs right now. Like you need a point guard.
College basketball, like women's college basketball, like when,
College,
when
you
teams ain't
need
got a
a
point
point guard.
guard, you can tell.
Yeah,
You can
Yeah.
tell right away. Like, then they
yeah.
scored 7 minutes. They ain't got a point guard.
7 minutes
I
without
gotta be
scoring is
there.
crazy. Going
It really
70%
is,
of the
bro. Like,
quarter without scoring is
it's
insane.
bad. It's bad. But some of these teams really do go that long without scoring. Like oh, they made one free throw in the last 6 minutes. Like that's it. Like nobody set the
Ain't
table,
nobody
got
getting
nobody to the free
fouled.
throw
Ain't
line.
nobody setting
Exactly.
nothing. Nobody to reset anything. Coach, you not doing nothing.
No
That's why
playmakers, no
certain
shot
that's why
creators.
certain that's why certain old point guard used to piss me off in Indiana. Because it's like, bro, you a vet and you can't make them plays, so I don't know what the hell you doing. And now she out of Seattle. They talking about, oh, we happy she here. I don't know. I guess. I mean, Skylar got to play 38 minutes to have some real point guard play out there because I don't know what she doing out there. I'm sorry.
Dog,
I've
listen,
seen.
man. Reek terrible, dog.
Man, I go like if
He
Skylar if
frying
Skylar
y'all,
playing
bro.
if Skylar playing 38 minutes and they still lose, bro, everybody in the locker room getting cussed out. Getting cussed out quick.
Yeah,
Oh
because
man,
y'all ain't about to waste her time. Well, what are we doing here?
hey, I'm just saying, man. Certain if you're a point guard, you need to be able to make entry passes. You know, at the very least, make an entry pass.
Yeah.
I seen a guard, a point guard that's been in the league for a lot of years, just couldn't make one. Like, you got Leah Boston down there, just can't get it to him. You know what, bro? You got it.
Oh man. I was good
Woo-wee.
at her rookie year.
Yeah,
They could not get to the
I
ball.
remember when we got happy, they won 3 straight games. I'll never forget. They
yeah.
won 3 straight games, and we was like, "Oh,
Oh,
Indiana on a run,
playoff push.
playoff push." That's what we said. They almost got 10 wins that year.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's terrible. They were bad.
they used to pray for
They
teams
were.
like this
They
upcoming
were
season.
bad.
They came a long way.
Yeah, I said we first started
Oh
coming
man,
W. That was that season when
they
they
had like what
got
3, 4 wins.
something like I want to say it was 4. That's when they first got Alyssa.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
They had a really bad year. I'm like, y'all can't be this bad. And Kelsey wasn't getting no All Star nods because how bad the rest of the team was.
Right.
I was
Kelsey was
pissed. I
just
was like,
there
yo, she should have been like a
cooking.
2, 3 time
She was
All
getting
Star
reps
already.
in, dog. She was just
She was out there like D
I'm
Book
getting my
in Phoenix
buckets.
before
I'm
Chris
getting
Paul
my
got there.
buckets right. Like I'm working this workout.
Like, man, if she's scoring on it, look at her, look at the surrounding pieces. If she's scoring like this, how's she not an All Star? She's the
Fact.
only player on the team that can score.
Only reason why they getting that
And y'all
high.
gave Erica Wheeler an All Star now for her. Y'all crazy.
They sure did. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And won All-Star game MVP too.
She did.
Hey man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't take WNBA All Star MVP seriously because Shoni Schimmel got one. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Damn.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because she
Reek
was
said
out
he
there
got time
frying them for
today.
1 year, and the next year she was gone. You ain't never see her again. She's gone. She was frying them. Frying had Skylar out there mad. Like I go back and watch some highlights. I'm like, oh, she really had them out there mad. Like Skylar, like she want to
I
fight her.
legit remember
I remember
watching
that.
that
Yeah.
game.
And then
I
next
was
year she was out
like,
the league.
yeah, where did
That's
you do that at?
crazy.
All-Star to
That
out the
is
league?
crazy. That's unheard of.
From All-Star to out the league.
There's like,
All-Star
yeah,
game
she ain't take the
MVP to
game since
out the
she was
league.
overweight. Cause I looked up her Wikipedia a couple of weeks ago because I was like, man, what happened to Shirley Schimmel? And I looked at that, I said, she was out the league that fast? I was like, yo, I knew she was out the league quick, but that's like Jeremy Lin.
Facts.
That was literally like Lin. That was low key around the same time. That might have been like 2 years apart, but like
Maybe about 2 years
that wasn't
apart.
that far apart, bro.
It wasn't that far apart,
Cause
but it
she
was like
did
2
that
years
what
apart.
20? She was like 2013.
I was like 20. No, that was like 24. I want to say 2014.
Yeah,
They
something like
played
that.
they
So
It had to be
because they played
2014.
BG
I
at
remember.
Baylor.
Listen. I remember. So for some weird reason, it was the same. That the All Star game was the same day as my cousin's Sweet 16 party. I was watching it as I was getting ready. So I remember. That's how I remember that game. So that was 2014.
I just know I
yeah,
remember her playing at Louisville with her sister, and they beat BG. And
Baylor.
I was
Yeah,
like,
I remember
they
that.
let this. Now she was there at the same time as like Peyton Season. That's when Louisville was really out there going
Louisville
crazy.
was rocking. Way before Pat
Nah.
Kelsey got the Ville on 10.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, Louisville got a resurgence now.
And that's a Florida State fan over there. You better chill out with that Louisville stuff, man.
I'm a Duke fan.
Yeah, he said you better chill out with
There's
that.
a lot of ACC stuff going on at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all crazy.
He said chill out with that. He FSU around here. He don't play about that.
Okay.
Yeah, FSU going a full rebuild, man. We lost Tanaya, we lost everybody, so ain't gonna be a lot to really expect this year, respectfully.
He gonna be writing and be like, man, who I'm writing about, man?
Right.
You see that boy in Garnet. You see that boy in Garnet come out.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Come out.
I'm pulling out to Columbia. I'm pulling out to Columbia this year, man. We're making it happen.
Let me know. We can make a trip out of it. Let me know.
Facts. We gotta make it happen.
We can link up with our A1s.
Hey, by the time we should have multiple pairs too.
Come on now. One for each day.
Easily. Facts. Yeah, facts.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the game.
Facts. I like that.
I'll wear the Sabrina so that I get booed out the stadium.
Why would you do something like that?
Because it's gonna be funny.
You know, when our Asian campus is on Sabrina's. Wow.
I have one shoe of Asia, one shoe of Sabrina.
I'll say South Carolina dropping the ball right now by not being sponsored by Nike, but that's mainly because South Carolina is a football school before they became a women's basketball school. So
yeah,
I get it. Basketball school now.
Yeah,
football team.
Easily. It's not even close.
Chill my Bull of Norris now. Chill my Bull of Norris sellers now. That boy tough. That boy nice.
Man, that team trash. I'm not worried about nothing.
Chill my game.
Top trash,
hey,
bro.
Spurs up, baby. Spurs up.
Man, put that down, bro.
Chill my Gamecocks, man.
Put it. Since when?
Gamecocks.
Since forever.
You lying.
Forever to thee.
He's such a liar, bro. I done heard this man say many years, oh, I don't care about college football. I don't got no team in college football. Now all of a sudden you a South Carolina fan? Of all the teams, the bandwagon, you gonna choose that one? They trash.
I'm staying home.
Oh, now it's home. Okay.
Yeah. They were right outside the playoffs last year. They're gonna make it this year.
You should have chose Syracuse then if we was gonna choose home.
Ooh.
Tariq a funny person, man. Tariq a funny dude. Tariq is a funny guy. Anyways, man. Anything else you want to talk about while you here?
I don't have nothing, honestly, man. It's always a pleasure joining you on this show, man. You're one of my favorite WNBA pods out there, man. Make sure to follow me on X at Nick Andre ATR. Make sure to check out the Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. We name you Twitter on Twitter.
Mama Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter.
Mama name's facts. Then of course check out the Best Damn W show. That's my WNBA pod. Shout out to my two co-hosts, Lo and Jay. As always, shout out to them. But that's about it, man.
Well, always appreciate you chopping it up with us, man. I feel like it's like the third episode we did with you.
Something like that, second, third,
yeah. It was like, I was like, dang, Nick only been on the show a couple times, but
I think we did his show.
To chop it up,
and then he did ours.
We did his show,
yeah.
And this is the second time doing our show. So, but yeah, man. Shout out Nick Andre. Thank you for tapping in with us. You know, y'all boys following or y'all boys see him. Y'all see his ad on the screen. I'm gonna leave it in the description as well. But y'all be sure to tap in with my good brother, man.
Facts. Appreciate that. Should get out of here. Yeah.
What was going on? What?
I think he's trying to figure out how to get out.
Oh,
what's on me? I got it now. I holla at your voice.
All right,
all right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, I was kind of tripped out myself. I was like, hold on, man. I can see I could, anyways. down to the nitty gritty. Y'all waited this long. We ain't gonna make y'all wait no further. We're 2 hours into the show.
Let's go. Let's do it.
We got predictions. Got award
Yes, we do.
predictions. We got champ predictions. I'm coming up with mine on the fly. I'm talking through this. This is me thinking, critical thinking
Lord.
now. Listen, hold on. I've had good thoughts and been thinking throughout this whole show and throughout this whole week about
Oh, so you saying this whole show you've been off the fly? You just told everybody you ain't come to the show prepared. We had 2 guests and you ain't come to the show prepared, gang?
I prepare up here. I prepare up here.
Oh, no, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that.
What you mean you're not going for that?
I'm not going for that because I saw you look up a roster. I'm not going for that.
Wait, what roster did I look up? If you saw me look up a roster, what roster did I look up?
Hold on, let me tell you. Because I remember every name you said. I'm just trying to remember the exact names you said. It was
because I only really looked up one roster for real. If we're being for real, I only looked up really
it was the Liberty.
No,
it was the Liberty.
Well, I looked up
the Liberty roster.
I went to go read out their final roster, but it's something that I saw early in the day. Cause I knew where to go find it at. So I looked up that roster to go read it out to see who made the final roster.
So you looked at somebody else's roster.
Looked at somebody else's roster.
Because the one that's the one I was talking about. Because you was reading off the thing. Yeah, so you telling me you looked at another roster.
I looked at a trusted media sources roster.
Interesting.
I mean, everything.
But if you had it in your head, you wouldn't have known how to do that.
Oh my gosh, I had it in my head to know where to go find it.
Oh, boo! Tomatoes.
Throw tomatoes at me. I don't care. I need to eat more vegetables anyway. Anyways, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
Of course, it's a fruit now.
It's a fruit, so that would make ketchup a smoothie.
All right, bro.
Everyone else for what drinking, Josh?
You're done, bro.
All right, anyways, man, we got predictions, man. MVP Rookie of the Year. You want to do DPOY? I know you kind of teased that a little earlier.
Yeah, I got Gabby Williams.
Okay, I don't really have a DPOY candidate yet, or not. I say winner, but hold on, man. Let me talk through it. Let me talk through. This is the microphone for us to talk. We ain't got no time to straight. We can talk. This is our show. We can talk through things. I didn't have a clear-cut winner quite yet, but it's a couple players that I'm looking at. You got Asia Wilson. You got Fee, who won it last year. You got, as you mentioned, Gabby Williams. If they want to go the guard route, perimeter defender route, which I would like to see that because we have seen it always go to a big. We got to give the perimeter defender some love too. So shout out Brittany Sykes as well. You know I'm always going to cape for. You know I'm always going to cape for Brittany Sykes. You know I'm always going to cape for Slim. Syracuse legend.
Awesome. That's a great pull. I'm glad you know that.
Come on, now it's me.
Now, if I question you about her Syracuse career, you gonna know?
Probably not.
Tell myself, all right, now it's me.
It's me though.
Do you know who they played in the national championship? Her last year?
No. I'm not even gonna try to fake that. I'm gonna say no.
You got.
Okay, that's what I figured. That was gonna be my guess. That was no before that was gonna be my guess.
That was Stewie's last one. It was Syracuse versus UConn. Yeah, go ahead.
But not Rookie of the Year though. I got Paige.
Yeah, I got Paige.
I mean, I would say it's her award to lose. You got Sonya. I would say Kiki, but Kiki's on the same team. I think Sonya get more of a chance to have a bigger role on that team than Kiki would. I could be wrong though. Trying to think of who else. Really looking forward to seeing Nisa Morrow in Connecticut. I know she'll get the time, the opportunity to play a good bit, and really want to see what type of player she is out there. That's pretty much it as far as like rookie of the year race goes. MVP. MVP. I'm going MVP.
Let's fucking go.
I'm going
Yeah, I
MVP.
said it. I don't
I
care.
think Fee
Let's
is
go.
ready for. I think Fee is out for smoke. I think that's a revenge season for Fee. We saw a glimpse of it in Unrivaled, how she came out and played in Unrivaled. Very controversial ending to the finals last season, and them getting that close. I know they're gonna want to get back, and they're gonna get back on the back of them Feast and Collier because she's carrying them there. Point blank. Period. Simple as that.
I don't want to say carrying.
I don't say carrying them, but
She
she's
had a lot
leading.
of
She's
help last
leading
year.
the forefront.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. They got a good squad outside of her. You got Bridget Colton that had a good season last year. You got Courtney Williams who had a good season last year. Kayla McBride was an all-star last year.
My
You
dog
got
there
Diamond
now.
Miller. You see your dog there.
My dog is there now.
Boy, you better maybe look at my Ross. Let me think.
You said it's in your head. You got it in your head. What's up?
I mean, a lot of Smith was on the team last year.
No, that's my dog. She been there though.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of who your dog is on the team this year.
They made a trade. They made a trade for her a couple of weeks ago. Drafted. She got traded while she was on the plane.
Carly Samuelson.
Let's go, man. My dog is on the squad. Stop playing with me, bro.
Yeah.
My dog is on the team. You already know.
Getting traded in the air is crazy, gang.
Nah, it really is. She's like, that's the last time I'll ever fly on draft day.
Yo.
I was like, she was like, man, I didn't get drafted on draft day. Now I get traded on draft day. I said, yeah, that's kind of a D. I can't lie.
That's crazy. Just associating draft day with, I guess, I don't know, like Friday the 13th or something like that. I guess
just terrible vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, at least her sister went really high. She got drafted.
Yeah.
Katie Lou actually went before Fee. Just crazy if you look back at it.
Man, you got Fee as well, MVP?
Yes, I do. MVP.
MVP. And championship.
Dang, bro, 6 woman of the year. Most improved player.
I don't want to do so. You know how I feel about sixth player of the year. Like,
man, 6 woman of the year, Marie Johannes, bro.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm actually not mad at that take because I don't know. I know.
That's what we know for sure coming off the bench.
Well, yeah. And I'm saying I gotta see like 6th player of the year, 6th man of the year is always that award. I gotta see like situations. Like I can't really see or I don't really know. I know a good bit about issues, but I don't really know enough to be like, all right, this player gonna do this, that, no.
Could be Alicia Clark again.
I mean, you got Alicia Clark, of course.
Seattle.
Trying to think of other teams.
I don't know what the Valkyries is going to look like. I don't know what
the
Sun's going to look like.
Maybe? Nah. I'm just throwing out names. I don't know. I just said Melissa.
I got Maddie Seegers down from most improved player. She might win 6 women of the year too. She might win both. Sweep it. Sweep it. Sweep it. And both of them.
I would like to see Maddie Seegers most improved. Highly skilled player offensively. Won Athletes Unlimited this past season. And just a killer. Maybe Lexi Hall. I think she'll have a good time with whatchamacallit. I feel like she'll have a good opportunity to shine a little more, to have bigger production. I'm a fan of her game as well. Just a hustle player, man. She gets after it on the defensive end.
I wonder if Kate Martin is starting or not. She started 2 preseason games before she missed the last one, but if they're starting her, they also starting Tiffany Hayes, but if they don't start Tiffany Hayes, then Tiffany Hayes might be the dark horse for 6 women.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what a lot of these lineups look like. But yeah. Finals picks.
Finals.
Who you got in the final 4?
I have in the final 4. Liberty, Lynx, Aces, and then it'd probably between Storm and Fever.
Okay.
If I go Storm, I'm going with experience. I'm going with Fever. I'm going with just the hottest. They're probably gonna be the hottest team out, or the newest hottest team out. Like just the next best thing, or like They're finally stepping into that potential.
Feel that. Feel that.
Breaking hearts, taking names. That's gonna be them. Or is it taking names,
And then
breaking
your
hearts? I don't know.
something like that. And then
Something like
your
that.
final picks are who?
I mean, regardless, it'll be a rematch of sorts. Kind of leaning towards Lynx and Liberty round two, but I don't know. Like, I just don't know if I had or I don't know if the Aces have enough to get there fully at the moment. I mean, obviously you got the core that has enough that can get there, but it's a matter of playing that core as much as you play them, and it's a matter of your depth as well. Um, so that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards Lynx Liberty with the L team winning it all.
My
Nah,
final
I'll say
four.
I'll say Liberty
I'll go.
repeat. I'll say Liberty repeat.
My
If
final
I were to
four.
make one prediction, Liberty repeat. That's what I've been leaning towards. I'm staying firm on that too. If I'm gonna make a prediction, I'm gonna make a prediction. I can't do this. If and whatever. If he no. Make a firm prediction, Bryce. Stop with this topsy turvy rigmarole verbal gymnastics that you be doing, sir. No. Make a prediction, stand firm on it, sir. I'm talking to myself right now. All right. Stand firm, wholeheartedly believe in your decision. I got New York Liberty being back-to-back champions.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But links info.
Info?
Links info.
Info.
Links info. Revenge is on their mind. Links info. All right. The final four teams: Aces, Liberty, Lynx, Fever. I have the Fever, or I have the Lynx beating the Liberty in 4 in the finals. Fee gets her revenge. Kayla McBride gets her revenge. Atlanta Smith gets her revenge because she got hold last year too. Um, yeah, man. I think I'm a little nervous for the Lynx just because of how good they were last season. I feel like it may not be as easy to replicate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like they know what they had, they know what they could do, and I will say the presser from Cheryl Reeve the other day was not great to hear for someone that has him as his finals winner, but I'm willing to bet that they turn it around, they get things together. Kayla McBride still not with the team. As late as yesterday, I didn't look today, but she's still not with the team for personal reasons. Um, so hopefully that everything gets situated there. Hopefully she's okay. Everything's okay with her, her family, and everything like that. But um, yeah, I think they are a really good team. They play basketball the right way on both sides of the basketball. I think their defense will still be one of the elite defenses in the league, and then they still have one of the best players in the league, and they've got great pieces around her that understand their roles and understand what um, they're supposed to do, and they do it at a high level. So um, I'm taking the Lynx to win it in 4. Um, last time I set a team in 4, they won that. They won it in 4. That's all I'm gonna say right there. And I got 2 trophies right here just to show you. I pick winners and I coach winners. So when we come back to this in October, and the Lynx are hoisting that trophy, I want my flowers. I want my respect. And I want Fee's respect. She going for MVP, Finals MVP, and hoisting up that WNBA championship trophy. That's what we on. Now, I'm sure you said you didn't. You were doing these things on top of your head. You don't have to do this. I wrote down my all WNBA teams. My first team is
I had a
Stewie.
feeling you did because you were kind of referencing it throughout the show.
Yes, I will. Stewie, Fee, Asia, Caitlin, Sabrina. My second team, Paige, Gabby, Satu, Ryan, KP. Those are my all WNBA teams. Do you have outside of the Aces? What is the team? Granted, there's not a ton of teams, so. But if there's one team that you can choose to watch from night to night, what team is that?
The team that choose to watch from night to night. I'm gonna do a outside
You
the
can even make it
obvious
like a
pick
tier
here.
list or whatever.
Yeah, I'll make it an outside the obvious pick here because obviously, most of you guys know my allegiance is with the Aces. I got love for the Liberty. I like the Lynx as well. Um, those are three of the top teams at the moment. Fever would be another team that's a hot team at the moment too. A lot of people like to watch. But for me, I'll say the Los Angeles Sparks. I am intrigued by the Sparks team this season. I like their roster, how their roster is composed. Uh, I'm ready to see year two with Kia. I want to see Karen Brink healthy. I want to see Kelsey plum one option hoops, her paired up with De'Erica. I want to see how that looks on a night to night basis. Also, am looking forward to watching. Let's see, maybe the Chicago Sky, definitely the Seattle Storm, and definitely the Atlanta Dream. I know obviously everybody's been watching the Dallas Wings this season. A lot of people been watching the FIBA this season, Aces. A lot of people gonna be watching Liberty. Maybe I want to say maybe not as much people gonna be watching the Lynx, but people know of the Lynx. And Lynx are gonna be on a lot of people's radar because they were in the finals last season, and because of the Nafisa
It's
Collier
like the
becoming
Spurs.
more of a household name. You said they're like the Spurs. That's a great
People
comp.
know how good they
That is
are,
a
but
great
people aren't tuning in to
that is a
watch them.
great comp because Cheryl Reeve is like Pop. Like that. That is a great comp. We are three man. Listen, look. Lynx equals Spurs. It's a great comp.
I do this.
You do. You do.
All right. Do you want to? Did you see the WNBA GM survey?
You can go through it. I saw it.
All right. Did you go through it or did you
I
just see
went
that they
through
did
it.
it?
Well, I
Okay.
think Yahoo posted like the highlights from it. Either Yahoo or WNBA
Okay.
posted the highlights from it.
Oh, I think yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So which team will win the tournament? Now, these were all these questions were sent out to the GMs. They couldn't pick their own
Mm-hmm.
teams. So
Yeah.
a pool of respondents for that particular question. So it could have been assistant GMs, could have
Some of
been
them I
just
felt
different
were
personnel.
interesting with some of the results
100%.
because there were a couple of
Which team will win
50-50s
it?
in one, right? Or some
Yeah, there
tied.
was. There
Yeah.
was. Yeah, there was some 50-50s. Um, which team will win the 2025 WNBA Finals? Number one was Minnesota, 60%. Number two was New York, 20%. Tied for third was Indiana and Vegas at
In
10%.
Vegas. Yeah, that's the one of the tied
Um,
ones, which I thought was interesting that they were tied.
I did too. Who will win 2025 WNBA MVP? Fee was number one with
Yeah.
67%. Asia was number two with 25%. Caitlin was number three with 8%. Uh, if you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player
This is the
in
50-50.
the WNBA, who would it be? Caitlin Clark was one with 50%. Number two was 33%. With yeah. And then also receiving votes was Nafisa Collier and Dominique Malone. So no one
Oh,
chose Paige.
well, I must have saw something different then. I thought I saw that
There's a
question. The
50-50 down there
answer,
somewhere, but it's not
I
this
thought
one.
I saw that question. The answer was 50% age and 50% Caitlin.
No, there's a different one that has that, I think.
Okay,
There's a different one that has 50-50 with Caitlin. Which
Got
player
it. Got
forces
it.
opposing coaches to make the most adjustments? Asia Wilson is number one. Caitlin Clark and Brianna Stewart are tied at number two at 25%. And then also receiving votes are Alyssa Thomas and Nafisa Collier. Um, which player is most likely to have a breakout season? Number one by far, because there's not even a 2 or a 3. Number one is Satu Sabali, 20%. Also receiving votes, Maddie Segrist, Marina Mabry, Kelsey Plum, Gabby Williams, Aaliyah Boston, Rakia Jackson, Ryan Howard, and Brittany Griner. Now, some of these I don't really understand. Why is Brittany Griner on here?
For a breakout season,
Breakout season, man.
people must have watched her right after she got out of jail.
That's a wild statement.
I'm sorry, but
We're
is
gonna
that?
move on. That's a wild
But that
statement.
might be true though. Like people are late to the game.
That's a
People are
wild
just
statement.
figuring out.
These are
finding out who some of
GMs,
these players
gang.
are. Never mind. Then forget what I said. That was
That's
terrible.
OD, bruh.
Wow. Brittany Griner breakout season in year what? What year we get with BG? Like 13?
Yeah. She's the same year as Skylar. Her,
Yeah.
Skylar, and
What are we doing?
Della Don just retired.
Yeah. What are we doing?
And they talking about breakout
What
season for Brittany
What are we
Griner.
doing?
Like, what are we
She cut her
talking about?
hair. She cut her hair. She a different person.
And
What are we
even
doing?
Satu, like Satu just went MIP 2 years ago.
Like what are we doing?
Like I feel like I feel like I get what they mean
Breakout
a
is
little bit
more
because
so for like
she
recent
hasn't had like
rookies. Like
that
if DeJounte
solidified
Carrington
star
had a
yet.
breakout season, then yeah.
Yeah.
If Ryan Howard had a breakout season, then yeah. You could say that for Michaela Onwuede, who's a recent rookie, Dana Evans, who's a recent, like people like that.
Yeah.
Not no damn Brittany Griner.
Then who was the best point guard in the WNBA? This was 50-50.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Caitlin Clark, 50-50. Chelsea Gray.
Okay,
then
that's
who
I
is the
knew it was
best?
an ace. I knew it was an ace.
Yeah. I hate the part that I hate about these is they allow players to be on positions multiple times. It's also who's the best shooting guard in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is number one.
Caitlin
Tied
Clark's
at
not a
second
shooting
is
guard.
Kayla Bride and Sabrina Ionescu, 25%. And then
Sabrina not a
Enrique
shooting
and Jackie
guard.
Young. Technically, she's been a 2 guard the last 2 years. Sabrina's definitely been a 2 guard the last 2 years.
Yeah, because we're slow.
Yeah. And then who is the best forward in the WNBA? This was also a tie between Fee and Asia Wilson, 33%. Stewie was 25%. Alyssa Thomas, 8%. But then we turn around, who's the best center in the WNBA? And they say Asia Wilson.
Asia Wilson.
At 50%. John Quill at 33%. Brittany Griner at 17%. So if Brittany Griner, the third best center in the league, how is she going to have a break? All right, bro. Which team made the best overall moves this offseason? Indiana got 64%.
Yes, of course.
Dallas got 18%. Which player acquisition will make the biggest impact? Alyssa Thomas got 50%. KP got 30%. Satu got 20%. What will turn out to be the most underrated players acquisition? It's a 3-way tie between Sophie Cunningham to Indiana, Ariel Atkins to Chicago, and Dejanay Carrington to Dallas. Which was the most surprising move of the offseason? DeWanna Bonner was number one, 32%. Brittany Griner and Brianna Jones were both tied for 17%. Which team will be most improved in 2025? Indiana with number one, 42%. Chicago, 33%. Atlanta, 17%. Los Angeles, 8%. Who will win the 2025 Rookie of the Year? Paige Becker, 73%. Dominique Malone, 18%.
Okay.
Sonia Citrone, 9%. This one I was curious about. I'm like, oh, all right, this is what we doing. Which rookie will be the best player in 5 years? 60% Dominique Malonga. 40% Paige Beckers.
I guess I get it, but not really.
I don't.
Because it's like, we know the league to be a big league. Like the best players in the league are bigs. Last 3 or 4 MVPs have been bigs. But at the same time, though,
was the biggest
the way the league is going, man, Paige Buckets, man, listen, you got generational talent wearing number 5 in Dallas right now. Ooh, Lordy, listen, the backcourt between her and Caitlin in 2028, LA,
I will be there.
Oh yeah, I'm there. We're
I
we're,
will
we're
be
there.
there.
We're there.
I will be there.
We're there.
Just
But
letting y'all know
yeah,
this
and
now. I will be there.
respectfully, 60% of WNBA GMs y'all are tripping. Respectfully,
And then it says which rookie
respect
was
the
the
Dom,
biggest
respect the
steal.
Dom. So, what Ricky is the biggest steal?
Yeah,
I would say probably Kiki
it was
at
a
the
three-way tie at
at
one.
the pick that she was whatchamacallit, at the pick that she
A
was picked
three-way
at.
tie for first
All right, who are they?
between Aaliyah Nye,
Oh,
Michaela Timpson,
okay.
and Dominique Malonga.
No, she was the second pick. She was the second pick. How the hell she steal? She was the second pick. A steal at the second pick. Steal at the second pick.
Granted, this is only 20%.
What'd you steal?
Grant, it's only
What is it that
20%
you're
for each of
stealing?
them. So that means it's only like two people that really voted for them. Because Sarah Ashley Barker got votes,
That's
Anastasia
that's an
Kosu
actual
got votes,
worth
Haley
a
Van Lith
pick
got
right there.
votes, and
That's
Isaiah
another
James
one.
got votes.
That's another one. Those
So
last three names you named are could have been that other 20%, not Dominic Malonga.
they're tweaking with this one. Who is the best international player in the WNBA? Not with who they have at one. John Paul Jones at one.
Okay,
Tied at two is Ezzy Magagor. Not mad at. And
not mad
Dominique
at Ezzy
Malonga.
Tough.
She ain't played a minute yet.
What is see? Oh my gosh!
Over Leone Fibish and Satu Sabali. They glazing right now.
I
They
was about to say,
glazing
where
right
was
now. I'm gonna
Satu
say
get brought into the mix? No Gabby.
they glazing right now. No Gabby.
After
Which
was she
country
in
outside the
France
U.S.
last
is
year?
producing the best WNBA talent? 92%
France.
France, 8% Germany.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just Leone Fibish and the Sabali sisters.
Yeah.
Who is the best defensive player in the WNBA? Fee with 33%. Alyssa Thomas, 25. Asia Wilson, 17. Also receiving votes, Brittany Sykes, Ezzy Magagor, and Brianna Stewart. Who is the best interior defender in the WNBA? Asia Wilson, 67%. Ezzy and Ezzy and Nafisa both have 17%. Who is the best perimeter defender in the WNBA? Dejanay Carrington with 27%, Jackie Young, 18%, Brittany Sykes, 18%. Then you have Alyssa Thomas, Jordan Canada, Bridget Carlson, and Natasha Cloud also getting votes.
Not mad
Which
at that.
team will be the best defensive team in the WNBA? Minnesota was the high favorite, which they were the only ones on here. It was number one, Minnesota, and then it says also receiving votes Seattle, Las Vegas, New York. So they're far and
Okay.
away considered to be the best defense. Who is the best head coach in the WNBA? Did you see that one? Who do you think it said?
I'm saying Cheryl Reeve, but I don't
That's
think
who
it
it
is.
was.
Oh, okay.
Overwhelmingly, 83%
Overwhelming. And who's number
to
two?
17% for.
Becky Hammond.
Yep.
Dang.
Which
And no
head coach is
Sandy
the
Blunt?
best manager / motivator? Cheryl Reeve, number one.
Okay,
Tied
yeah.
at number two is Becky Hammond and Stephanie White. Number four is Sandy Brondello. Which
Okay.
head coach makes the best in-game adjustments? Cheryl Reeve, 50%.
Yes.
Becky Hammond, 33. Sandy
Okay.
Brondello, 17. Which
Okay.
head coach runs the best offense? Tied at 45%. Cheryl Reeve and Becky Hammond. Carl
Okay.
Smesco, who has not had
Not
a
coached a
actual
regular
game,
season game.
10%. Uh, which new or relocated head coach will make the biggest impact on his or her new team? Stephanie White has
What
50%.
Stephanie
Tyler
White
Marsh
got?
has 40%. Carl
Yep.
Smesco has 10%. Which active
Okay.
player will make the best head coach someday? Do you know who
What
they chose?
active player? I'll say Chelsea Gray.
Good point. Come on now. That's number one. Who's number two?
Courtney Vandersloot.
Come on.
Point guard mentality.
Also receiving votes: Bridget Carlton,
Okay.
Georgia Amore,
Okay.
Rachel Banham,
Okay.
Alicia Clark,
Okay.
Lindsay Lindsay Allen. They spelled her name wrong. Like, who
Oh.
is Lindsay
Oh.
Al? I like, bro, I know every player. I don't know
I
who
was
that
say you
is.
struggle with a name. Who name you struggled with? Like who was
It
this?
was it's Lindsay Alle. I'm like, yo, who is that? And I'm squinting, so I thought it was just Ale. I'm like, who is that? Lindsay Ale? Who is that? Never heard of him.
Lindsay L. You got
Um,
Ginger Ale, you got Lindsay L.
Rich retired player who isn't already coaching in the WNBA should be.
I saw it was Dawn Staley and Sue Bird.
It's a 4-way tie.
Okay. So Dawn said
It's
Sue Bird.
Dawn, Lisa Leslie,
I was
Candace
about to say
Dupree, and Sue
Lisa.
Bird.
Okay, yeah, Candace Dupree. She worked with the Spurs, right? If I'm not mistaken, or she has in the
She might.
past.
She
I
might.
thought I
I,
saw
I
her on the
couldn't tell
Spurs
you, to be
side.
honest. Also receiving votes: Maya Moore, Candace Parker, and Katie Smith. Katie Smith is on the Minnesota's coaching staff.
Okay,
Which two teams will lead
I
their
would
conference in
imagine
the
so.
Commissioner's Cup to reach the
Uh,
championship game?
New York and no. I'll say Indiana and Vegas.
Nope. Minnesota and New York, 50%.
Okay.
Las Vegas versus New York, 25%. Minnesota
Uh-huh.
versus Indiana, 17%. Las Vegas
Okay.
versus Indiana, 8%.
Okay.
Which team will be the most fun team to watch? Indiana, 75%.
Yep.
Which team has the best home court advantage? New York, 50%. Indiana, 42%. Vegas, 8%. Which team has the most promising young core? Indiana, 50%. Los Angeles, 30%. Uh, which also receiving votes? Vegas. How?
Wait for what was
How?
that?
Which team has the most promising young core?
I mean, if you putting all your chips into Liz Kitley, I could see that.
I love Liz, but
If you think Liz Kitley gonna be the next face of the league, then I understand you're interested. But I love Liz Kitley. That ain't a diss to Liz. That's not a slight Liz. I don't want that taken the wrong way. But they got what Liz Kitley, Aaliyah
even
Nye.
if it's just one player, it
They
can't be them.
I say they got Liz Kelly, Leah Nye. They cut Deja Kelly.
And
They cut
Harmony Turner.
Harmony Turner. I
No,
mean,
never
you
mind.
got
I can
Dana
say
Evans. She's in what year 4?
something like that.
Um, you got
She
Kirsten
was picked
Bell,
right
but
after COVID year. So yeah.
yeah, no, I don't, no, Ace, no, I don't see it with the Aces.
Which player is the most athletic? Who do you think they said it?
They said Ka or
Yes,
Brittany
they did.
Sykes.
Brittany Sykes is number 2. Dominique
Okay,
Malone is number 3. Also
yeah,
receiving votes is Fee in Asia. Which player is
okay.
the best passer? Chelsea Gray,
Chelsea Gray.
75%.
Come
Caitlin
on
Clark,
now.
25.
Okay.
Which player is the best leader? Nafisa in Asia Wilson tied at 42%. Who is
Uh
the most versatile player in the WNBA? Fee at number 1 with 42%. Stewie at number 2 with 25%. Which player has the best basketball IQ? Chelsea Gray at
Chelsea Gray.
36. Caitlin Clark and Courtney Vandersloot tied at 18.
Okay.
Which player would you want taking a shot with a game on the line?
Taking a shot with the game on the line, Chelsea Gray.
That is number 1. Number tied at 2 is Sabrina, Asia, and
Okay.
Fee.
Okay.
And then also receiving votes are Caitlin Clark, Brianna Stewart, and Courtney Williams.
Okay. I'm not mad at Courtney Williams.
And that is the WNBA GM survey.
Word.
So I can't wait to look back at this.
Yeah.
Some of
Definitely.
those were
Definitely. I look back
definitely
at it.
interesting.
Hey, who had the most promising young core again?
It was Indiana.
That's what I was. Okay, that's what I would have
It was
thought.
Indiana, and then I think it was LA after that.
Gotta be because
Yeah,
in
it
a
was
way,
Indiana 75%, and then LA was like 25 or
yeah,
20
because
or
LA
something
got
like
what
that.
Cam, Rakia, Ray,
Yeah, an actual young core, Sarah Ashley
yeah,
Barker.
Ashley Barker, the killer.
Yeah, yeah.
Word.
Dallas received a bonus too, I believe. It was Vegas and Dallas that
Dallas got a lot of
received a
experienced
bonus.
players. I mean, Dejanay and Melissa, they're still young. Um,
Yeah,
Marika's been in the league for a minute now. She's turned into a vet. At this point in her career, she's a vet. I would consider Rika to be a vet.
yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Of course,
But
Paige,
yeah,
Maddie. Word. Well, this has been. If you ain't got nothing else to talk about, it.
um,
I hope not. We've been in
I
here
did
for
want to go through
3
my list
hours.
real quick. I'm almost done. I want to
Okay.
go through my list real quick. Players I'm excited to watch this year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the obvious ones because if you know me, you know the obvious ones. Maddie Seegers, Maddie Westbelt, Tina Pow, Gabby Williams, Julie freaking Alamont. I cannot wait to see her play again. Sonia Citron, Ray Burrell, Rakia Jackson, Liz
Mm-hmm.
Kitley, Carla Late,
Mm-hmm.
Kitia Laxa, uh, plays for Phoenix, Ezzy Magbagor. I have to make sure she's on the final roster, actually. Not Esley, but Kitty. Jade Melbourne, Olivia Nelson Adota, Lucy Olson, Carly Hamilton, J.C. Sheldon, Alana Smith, Leah Rue, and Cecilia Sandalazine. And then, of course, there's the players like Paige, Caitlin, Satu, Sabrina. But if you know me, you know the players on others. So those are the players that I'm looking out for. Those are the players that on any given night I'm looking at. I'm watching them specifically. I'm going back and I'm looking at what they're doing. I'm looking at their stats. I'm looking at just a bunch of different things. So yeah.
Yeah. In terms of me players, I'm looking forward to watching. I mean, obviously the aces, of course, all their players. I'm excited for Liz Kitley though. Excited to see her actual official rookie season. Um, Looking forward to seeing obviously the Liberty, but I know I mentioned obviously the Indiana Fever. I know I mentioned Lexi Hall, one of my favorite players to watch. Just like her game a lot. Um, Seattle's gonna be fun to watch with Skylar and NECA leading the charge. Gabby Williams there for a full season. I do hope that Lexi Brown has a full healthy season for once. We all remember how good of a season she was having up until her medical complications. Um, so there's that. Who else is there? Can't wait for Cam Brink to come back. Definitely excited to see Maureen Johannes play basketball again. Julie Van Loo as well, someone that's in that kind of same caliber, similar kind of guard. So should be a good 2025 season ahead of us, man. I look forward to it.
Yeah. As do I. I'm super excited about this season. I can't wait to be stupidly locked in to all these
I'm
games
looking
every
forward to
single
watching
night.
Tamina in Atlanta.
Whew, boy,
Yeah,
come on now. It
definitely.
pissed me off, but they got one of my dogs. So
Yeah, I need to see Haley back on somebody's team. But anyways, man, thank y'all for tuning in, especially tuning in this far, or especially tapped in at this point of the show. This is a highly viewed show. We getting there. I like it. Shout out to Brenden
absolutely.
Potts and Nick Andre for joining us on this episode. Y'all be sure to go ahead and tap in with those guys. Keep it locked in here on the Multiplicity Media YouTube channel and on multiplicitymedia.com. Um, might be putting out some articles soon. Who knows? But you
Uh-oh.
see the ads on the screen. Y'all know where to follow us at. Um, if not, you better find out somewhere. And happy WNBA season. It's lit. It's up. We lit.
Appreciate y'all.